Good morning, my dear friend. The first light of dawn is breaking. The sky is still holding on to the last traces of night, but the horizon is quietly blooming with soft colors. There is something sacred about this hour, a stillness that speaks, a silence that listens. While the world is just beginning to stir, heaven has already been whispering. This moment, before emails, before the news, before expectations, is where your soul has room to breathe. And you are here, right now, not by accident, but by divine intention. Perhaps you woke up today carrying more than you feel capable of holding. Maybe you opened your eyes not to peace, but to pressure. The kind of pressure that presses on your chest before your feet even touch the floor. There are people listening to this right now who did not sleep well last night. Not because the bed was not soft enough, because the burden was too heavy. You may be walking through the valley of loss, navigating silent grief, or facing a fear that won't leave you alone. Some wounds do not bleed outwardly. They hide under smiles, behind schedules, and inside I am fine, but God sees through all of it. I once spoke with a woman whose world had shattered overnight. Her husband had walked out unexpectedly, leaving her with 3 children and a mortgage she could not afford. She said mornings were the hardest, not because of the chores or the chaos of getting the kids ready, but because every sunrise reminded her of what had changed. Yet in her quiet desperation, something miraculous began to happen. She told me, "It was in the silence before the noise that I started to feel God the most. Not in thunder, not in lightning, but in stillness." That stillness became a doorway to something deeper than comfort. It became the beginning of healing. And maybe that is where you are today, standing at the edge of something you can't define. But you can feel it, a deep need, a cry for peace, a longing for guidance, a desire to be held without needing to explain everything. My friend, if that is you, know this: God is not waiting for you to be stronger before He listens. He is not demanding perfection before He moves. He meets you right where you are. In confusion, in fatigue, in brokenness. And His promises are not reserved for the put together. They are for the wary, the overlooked, the overwhelmed. This moment is not just another morning. It is an invitation, not to fix everything, not to pretend everything is fine, but to begin a conversation. A sacred, slow, deeply personal conversation between you and the God who already knows every corner of your heart. This is not performance. This is presence. Not ritual, but relationship. Prayer is not a magic spell, and faith is not denial. Prayer is where you tell the truth and find that God is still listening. Faith is where you admit you are not enough and discover that grace is. There is strength being offered to you this morning, not to make the day easier, but to make your heart steadier. There is peace waiting, not when everything is done, but right now, in the quiet. So take a breath. Let the noise fall away. Let the questions rest. You do not need all the answers to be heard. You do not need to be ready. You only need to be real. As we begin this journey of prayer together, let this be your posture, not striving, not performing, but opening. You are not alone in this moment. You are not forgotten. The light may still be dim outside, but it is already rising within you. And this prayer, this conversation, is the first step toward something holy. Let us begin. Dear Heavenly Father, this morning I come to you from a place I do not always know how to explain. The world is still quiet outside, but inside me is a storm I cannot silence. The sun has barely risen, yet my heart feels like has already lived through a day of battles. I woke up early not because I was ready to face the day, but because something deep inside would not let me sleep. There is a weight pressing on my chest, and I am tired in ways that rest cannot fix. I do not have the right words or perfect faith. I only have this moment and this breath and a longing for you to be near. I will not pretend with you. I do not feel strong. I do not feel inspired. I feel fragile and hollow and overwhelmed. There are thoughts in my mind that do not bring peace. There are memories that haunt the edges of my hope. There is fear of what today might bring, and fear that maybe I am not enough for whatever it requires. My soul is weary and my heart feels quiet even to myself. But here I am, because even in this silence, I believe you hear me. Father, you know how I woke up today. You know what I am carrying without me having to list it. You see the invisible bruises. You see the questions I cannot put into sentences. You see the H I have tried to ignore. I am not here to perform or impress you. I am here to surrender. I am here because there is nowhere else that feels like home except in your presence. Even when I cannot feel you, I still choose to believe you are here. Sometimes I wake up with noise already shouting in my head, regrets from yesterday, worries about tomorrow, all the what-ifs and how-wills and what-nows. But right now I choose to put them down. I do not want to carry them into this day. I want to make room for something better. For you, not because I deserve anything, because I need you more than I need answers. I need you more than I need a plan. I need you in the raw beginning of my day, before anything else can define it. Let this be the place where everything starts, not my to-do list, not my fears, not the demands waiting for me. Let it begin here in this quiet moment where I reach for you first. Before the world has a chance to tell me who I am, I need to remember who you are. You are constant. You are kind. You are not moved by my weakness. You are not disappointed by my sadness. You are the same now as you were in the stories of hope I have forgotten how to tell. There is something sacred about the way the day begins, before the rush, before the noise, before the pretending. This is where I want to meet you. Not when I have it all figured out. Not when I feel spiritual. Not when the pain is gone. But here. Right here. While I am still hurting. While I am still unsure. While I am still trying to believe that hope is real. If there is one thing I know to ask, it is this: meet me here. I do not need fireworks. I do not need signs. I do not need everything to change in this second. I just need to know I am not alone in the dark. I need the quiet confidence that comes when I remember I am seen, I am heard. I am held. Even if nothing outside changes, I need to be changed inside. I need the kind of peace that makes no sense. The kind that holds me even when I cannot hold myself. The kind that does not wait for perfect conditions. Some mornings feel more like survival than awakening. Some mornings I am not rising with strength. I am crawling out of something heavy. I do not even know how to pray like I used to, but I do know how to whisper your name. That is enough for now. Let that be the beginning. One small prayer from a heart that does not want to quit. One quiet cry that says, I still believe you can reach me even here. I am not asking for easy. I am asking for real. I am not asking for the path to be clear. I am asking for the strength to walk it. I am not asking for the storm to stop. I am asking for the faith to keep moving in the rain. I am not asking to escape reality. I am asking to see it through your eyes, to see light when it is still dark, to feel hope when it is still quiet, to begin the day with you instead of with fear. Dear Father, remind me that I am not behind, that even if I feel like I am late or lost or stuck, you are not rushing me. You are not disappointed in where I am. You are not comparing me to anyone else. You are walking with me step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment. This day is not too broken for you. I am not too broken for you. There is still purpose. There is still a path. There is still peace waiting on the other side of this silence. So I give you this silence. I give you my first breath, my first thought, my first emotion of this day. Whether it is sorrow or confusion or relief, I give it to you. And I ask you to fill this space with whatever I cannot name. Whatever I cannot see yet. Fill it with yourself, with your nearness, with your kindness, with the steady truth that you are here. I am not starting this day with a performance. I am starting it with a prayer. Not a polished one, not a powerful one, just an honest one. From someone who wants to believe again. From someone who is showing up even with questions. From someone who is trying to find solid ground. From someone who hopes that this small moment of reaching for you is enough for you to come close. Lord, I am still here with you. The stillness remains, but something inside me has begun to stir, not because the burden has lifted, but because I am no longer holding it alone. My voice is quiet. Yet my soul is beginning to whisper things I had buried for too long. There are pieces of me I have been too afraid to look at, wounds I covered with silence and called survival. But you are not asking for my strength. You are waiting for my truth. So now I bring it, raw, real, without dressing it up, without making it sound like faith. Because I believe you can handle my honesty more than my performance. God, I have cried tears in places no one saw. I have felt the ache of nights that never seemed to end, and days that arrived with more weight than promise. I have asked questions I never dared speak aloud, and I have wondered why healing takes so long when pain comes so fast. Sometimes I feel like I am breaking into too many pieces to ever be whole again. But if you are here with me now, if you are really near, then I will open those places, not because I am strong, but because I can't carry them anymore. There are rooms in my heart that have been locked for years, places where grief sits on the floor and refuses to move. Regret lines the walls. Shame stands guard at the door. I have lived with them so long they have started to feel familiar. But you, Lord, you knock gently, not to force your way in, but to wait until I am willing. I think I am willing now, or at least, I am tired enough to try. If there is healing in the opening, then I will open. If there is comfort in the confession, then I will speak. I am tired of pretending I am fine. I am tired of smiling when something inside me is wilting. I am tired of shrinking so others feel comfortable while I feel invisible. I am tired of replaying old conversations, wishing I had said more or said less. I am tired of walking into rooms and feeling alone, even when people surround me. I am tired of the weight that no one sees, the pressure to be okay when I am not. I am tired of carrying what I was never meant to carry. Father, hear this cry from the depth, not the rehearsed one, not the one that sounds pretty, the one that comes from the place beneath my pride, beneath my image, the cry that does not need punctuation or permission, the cry that rises in the middle of the night and has no words, only longing, the cry that says, help me, heal me, hold me, the cry that is tired of silence but too broken to shout. I give you that cry now. You see where I am, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. You see the moments I kept going when everything in me wanted to give up. You see the strength it took just to make it to this moment. You see the layers I have worn to make it through the day. But you also see through them, and what you see is not weakness. You see a child reaching out, a soul that still believes, even if the belief feels faint. You see my need, not as a problem, but as an invitation. So I come to you as I am, with what I have, with what I can no longer carry. I do not come to impress. I come to be known. I do not come because I have the right words. I come because I have nowhere else to turn. And I believe that even my lowest cry can rise like incense to your heart. I believe that my surrender means more than my strength. I believe that you bend down to listen, not because I am loud, but because I am yours. There are moments when I feel like I am drowning in everything I cannot fix. Like I am standing in a room filling with water, and no one notices. I smile while sinking. I laugh while breaking. I give while empty. But you, God, you see the water. You see the weight. You see me trying to be strong for everyone else while quietly unraveling inside. I have come to the end of what I can manage. And strangely, that feels like a beginning, because now it is no longer up to me. So I cry to you, not because I am faithless, but because I have faith enough to believe you are listening. I cry because you created the heart, and you understand what it holds. I cry because somewhere deep within me, I still believe that tears are not wasted when they fall before you. You collect them. You interpret them. You respond to them in ways I may not see yet, but I trust that heaven moves when I pour out my soul. There is something sacred in desperation. Not because it is pretty, but because it is honest. I cannot fake my way into peace. I cannot perform my way into rest. I can only cry, and so I do. For every ache I have hidden, for every dream I thought had died, for every part of me that wants to be restored. I let it come. I do not hold it back, because I trust that in your hands, even my tears can become seeds. Even my pain can birth something new. And even as I weep, I ask you not only to comfort me, but to meet me here, in the middle of my mess, not when I am clean, but when I am real. I do not ask for quick fixes or empty promises. I ask for you. Your nearness, your voice, your embrace. I ask you to stay with me in the cry, to sit with me in the sorrow, to hold me in the dark until light begins to rise again. This cry is not the end. It is the bridge. It is the doorway. It is the beginning of something deeper than I have ever known. Not because the pain disappears, but because you enter it. And when you enter, nothing remains unchanged. So let this cry be heard in heaven. Let it echo in the places where only you can go. Let it be the turning point between despair and hope, between isolation and intimacy, between pretending and healing. I will not silence this part of me anymore. I will not hide the depth of what I feel. I will not cover it with strength I do not have. I will cry, and I will trust that you are close, closer than breath, closer than the tears, closer than the pain, because you are the God who meets me in the depths and calls me into life. You are the God who does not turn away when the cry is broken, but draws near. And so, here I am. Not perfect, not whole, not put together, just present and crying out to be seen. Father, even as the cry still echoes in my chest, something quieter begins to rise beneath it. Not louder than the H, not stronger than the sorrow, but steady. A memory, a whisper of days when you did show up, of nights when you held me together, of moments I almost forgot because pain has a way of making miracles feel far away. But now, in this breath, I remember. Not everything, not in perfect clarity, but enough to remind me that you have been here before. You were there when I did not know how the rent would be paid, and somehow it was. You were there when I sat alone in that hospital waiting room, holding a prayer in one hand and fear in the other. You were there when I thought the silence meant you had forgotten me, but looking back, it was in that silence that something in me changed. You were there when I lost what I loved, and you did not replace it, but you stayed. And staying meant more than answers. Lord, I know I have doubted. I know I have questioned how long you would take and whether you still see me. But it is not because I have never seen your hand. It is because pain makes the heart forget what the soul once knew. But I remember now. I remember the way peace settled into my bones after I prayed and did not know what else to do. I remember the night's sleep finally came. Not because the storm ended, but because your presence rested over me like a blanket. I remember the small kindness from a stranger, the unexpected encouragement, the song on the radio that spoke to what I could not say. That was you. Not coincidence. Not luck. That was your kindness disguised in the ordinary. You have been the God of my yesterdays, not always loud, not always obvious, but always near. And though my faith wavers, your faithfulness does not. I look back now and I do not see a perfect life, but I see a persistent grace, a love that would not let go, a mercy that kept coming. You rescued me in ways I did not recognize at the time. You healed things in me I did not even know were broken. You protected me from doors I wanted to walk through, but would have destroyed me. You allowed me to fall just far enough to realize I needed you. And then you caught me. God, let these memories become my altar. Let them be the stones I stack one upon another so I never forget who you have been. When the future is foggy and today feels heavy, let me look back and see the trail of your fingerprints all over my story. The times I was carried and did not know it, the provision that came just in time, the inner strength that did not come from me, the moments I thought were endings that became new beginnings. Let me hold on to those truths, not as distant echoes, but as living proof that you are still the same God. Sometimes I get so caught in what is missing that I forget what was given. I focus on what has not changed instead of what has. But you have done too much for me to pretend you have not been faithful. My memory may fade, but my spirit knows. It rises now in worship, even if quietly, not because everything is perfect, but because you have proven you are enough. You have proven that hope is not wishful thinking. It is remembering who you are when nothing makes sense. And Lord, as I remember, help me return, not just to what happened, but to the posture I had in those moments. That simple trust when I had no choice but to believe. That raw faith that was not polished, but was real. The hunger that came when I had nothing left. Let me return to that, not because I long for suffering, but because there is something sacred in the way pain strips away everything except what matters. And what matters is you. Let my heart not grow numb to the grace I have already received. Let me not rush past what you have done, because I am too busy begging for what is next. I want to thank you, truly thank you, for every unseen rescue, every hidden mercy, every answered prayer that did not come in the way I expected. I want to sit in this space with you and let gratitude do its quiet work. Healing does not always begin with a breakthrough. Sometimes it begins with remembering. You have never asked me to ignore my pain. You have never demanded that I pretend. But you do invite me to look beyond the edge and into the archive of grace. There, in the storeroom of my journey, are moments lit with your fingerprints. Moments I nearly missed because they came in disguise. But now I see them. I see them with the eyes of reflection, and they stir something that pain tried to bury trust. You have never been absent. I may have felt forgotten, but I was never forsaken. I may have wandered, but I was never abandoned. I may have cried alone, but I was never truly without you. You have been the steady rhythm beneath the chaos, the gentle pull when I was drifting, the breath when I could barely breathe. And today, I remember not just what you have done, but who you have always been. So I say it now with trembling certainty. You are faithful, even when I forgot, even when I doubted, even when I questioned if you were listening. You were faithful. That truth does not depend on how I feel. It stands whether I shout it or whisper it or just sit in silence and let it wash over me. It stands in the morning and in the midnight. It stands when prayers are answered and when they seem to hang in the air unanswered. It stands when I feel strong and when I feel undone. Let this memory rise like incense. Let it become a melody in the background of my spirit today. A quiet reminder when fear comes, a still anchor when confusion stirs, a warm echo that says, "You have seen God work before. You will see it again. He did not leave you then. He won't leave you now. He has been writing redemption into your story from the beginning, and He is not done yet." As the day begins and the world starts calling, do not let me forget this. Don't let the noise drown out the memory of your goodness. Don't let the urgency erase what the stillness has shown me. Keep it fresh in me. Keep it close. Let it be the lens I look through, not my fear, not my logic, not my expectations, but my memory of who you have been and who you still are. You are not a God who forgets His people. So let me be a person who does not forget you. Let this remembering change how I move through today. Let it soften the sharp places in me. Let it revive what was growing dull. Let it give me eyes to see you again, not just in memory, but in this very moment. Because if you have been faithful before, you will be faithful again. And if you were with me then, you are with me now, God. As I sit here remembering the ways you have shown up before, something deeper stirs inside me. Alongside the gratitude, there is a realization and invitation, maybe to turn and face what I have tried to avoid. Not just the memories of your goodness, but the shadows that still linger in the corners of my mind. If I am going to move forward with you today, if I am going to carry faith and not fear, I have to be honest about what still intimidates me. I have to name the giants. There are things I have been afraid to speak out loud, even to you, not because I think you do not know, but because saying them makes them feel real. And if they are real, then I can keep pretending they are not affecting me. But if you are the God who holds truth and does not turn away from it, then I trust you can hold mine too. So here I am, not to list complaints, but to bring into light what has been hiding in the dark. Father, I name the fear of failure, the silent panic that says I am not doing enough, not becoming enough, not getting where I should be fast enough. It keeps me running even when I am exhausted. It whispers that my worth is tied to my performance, my productivity, my image. But I do not want to live under that anymore. I want to believe that being yours is enough, that love is not earned by achievement, and peace is not reserved for the perfect. I name the fear of rejection, the H that has been with me since I was small, the worry that if people knew the real me, they would walk away. So I have worn masks. I have hidden the messy parts. I have stayed quiet when I wanted to speak, and laughed when I wanted to cry. But you know the real me already. You have seen the parts I have tried to bury, and you have never walked away. Let that be louder than the fear. I name the shame I have carried like a second skin, the guilt over choices I can't change, the weight of mistakes that haunt the background of my joy. I know I am forgiven, but sometimes I still live like I am not. Sometimes I still look in the mirror and see failure instead of redemption. But you did not just forgive me. You called me your own. You washed me, covered me, and called me new. I want to believe that more than I believe the old story. I name the fear of loss, the dread that something good will be taken away again, that the next phone call will be bad news, that closeness means vulnerability, and vulnerability means pain. So I hold things too tightly. I stay on edge even in moments of joy. But joy was not meant to be guarded. It was meant to be received. Help me unclench my hands. Help me live with open palms, trusting that even if loss comes, you will be there again, just like you were before. I name the voice that says I am too much and not enough at the same time, the one that tells me I talk too loud or feel too deeply, that I need to shrink to fit someone else's comfort. And yet, in shrinking, I have lost parts of myself I did not mean to lose. But if you created me with intention, then none of me is a mistake. Not my volume, not my passion, not my tenderness. If you see beauty where I see flaw, help me see it too. I name the anxiety that wraps around my thoughts like a vine, the what-ifs and worst-case scenarios that drain my strength before the day even begins. I try to reason with it, try to silence it, but it finds new ways to grow. So instead of trying to fight it alone, I bring it to you. I ask you to cut through it, to speak peace where panic has lived too long, to remind me that the future is not mine to control, but yours to hold. I name the comparison that sneaks into my heart like poison. I scroll and wonder why I do not have what they do. I measure my progress by someone else's pace. I let the illusion of perfection rob me of presence. But I was not called to be them. I was called to be fully me. And you are not comparing me to anyone. You are guiding me in my lane, at my pace, with a purpose no one else can live. I name the bitterness I have not fully released, the forgiveness I said with my lips but did not finish in my heart, the way certain names still sting, the way certain memories still stir anger I thought I had buried. But bitterness is a chain I no longer want to wear. I cannot carry it into the freedom you offer. So help me release it, not because they earned it, but because I need to be free. Lord, these giants are not new. They have followed me for years. Some grew in childhood. Some were born in trauma. Some were fed by lies I believed and environments that shaped me. But just because they have been here long does not mean they have the right to stay. I bring them to you not so you can pretend they are not real, but so you can remind me that they are not bigger than you. I do not want to be defined by what scares me. I do not want to keep making choices based on fear dressed as logic. I want to walk in courage, not just comfort. I want to trust that you do not just stand beside me, but go before me, that nothing I face today is bigger than the God within me, that the same hands that held David when he faced Goliath are holding me now. I believe you are not intimidated by my giants. You are not overwhelmed by what overwhelms me. You do not flinch at my fears or retreat from my honesty. You lean in closer. You equip me. You remind me that I was never meant to slay these battles alone. You do not give me a sword and send me away. You walk with me into the fight. And your presence is what turns trembling into triumph. So I lay these giants at your feet, one by one, name by name. I won't pretend anymore. I won't carry them in secret. I won't dress them up as normal. They are enemies of peace. And I choose to believe they are not permanent. I choose to believe that what I name can be disarmed, that what I bring into light loses power, that what I surrender becomes the very place you move. I will not let these giants speak louder than your promises. I will not give them authority they do not have. I will speak truth. Even if my voice shakes, I will stand. Even if my knees are weak, because I know who fights for me. I know who holds the outcome. And I know that courage does not mean I feel brave. It means I trust you more than I trust my fear. Father, let this be the day I stop avoiding the battle and start walking into it with you. Let this be the moment I trade hiding for healing. Let this be the breath where I stop agreeing with fear and start aligning with truth. These giants may still stand, but they no longer own me. I may still feel small, but I am not powerless. I am yours, and that changes everything. Father, now that I have named what I used to hide, I feel exposed but not ashamed. It is as though, in calling each fear by name, I have opened a door inside myself that I had kept locked for years. And yet, instead of chaos pouring in, I sense something I did not expect. I sense peace. Not the kind that comes when everything is fixed or perfectly aligned. Not the kind that waits for the storm to end, but a kind of peace that makes no sense at all. The kind that settles into the center of the noise and quietly refuses to be moved. I do not know how you do it, Lord, how you step into the places where I feel most undone and bring something steady, something gentle, something sure. My thoughts are still spinning. The giants I named have not vanished, and yet this quiet has found me. Not a silence that feels empty, but one that feels full. Full of your nearness, full of your care. It is not loud or dramatic. It is subtle. Like the way morning light begins to push away the dark before the sun actually rises. This peace is not the absence of pain, but the presence of you. It is not a reward for being strong. It is the comfort that comes when I admit I am not. I did not earn it by being holy enough or brave enough. I found it when I ran out of strength and finally sat still long enough to feel your presence. I have spent so much time trying to reach for peace through control, through certainty, through planning every detail. But real peace did not meet me in control. It met me in surrender. There have been days when I believed peace was something I had to chase, something just beyond the next fix or the next decision. But now I am starting to see it was never out there. It was always here, waiting for me to let go, waiting for me to stop striving, waiting for me to release my grip on the things I thought I had to manage on my own. And now, as I sit with you, as I breathe and let the silence stretch across my thoughts, I feel that gentle reassurance again. I am not alone. I never was. God, let this peace go deeper than the surface. Let it reach into the places where fear built a home. Let it wrap around the parts of me still learning how to trust. I do not want a peace that only exists when the room is quiet or the news is good. I want a peace that can exist in the waiting room, in the hard conversations, in the deadlines and detours and disappointments. I want the kind that holds me together when nothing else is. The kind that anchors me not to results, but to truth. Your word says that you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you, but my mind wanders, God. It runs to what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. It clings to the past and tries to control the future. Help me refocus, not by forcing my thoughts, but by guiding them back to you gently, like a father leading a tired child by the hand. When my heart starts to race and my breath feels shallow, help me remember that I do not have to follow every anxious thought. I can choose a better thought. I can choose you. This peace, Lord, it is not fragile. It is not thin or breakable. It is strong. Strong enough to hold the weight of disappointment. Strong enough to carry me when grief returns without warning. Strong enough to calm the shaking inside me when life feels unpredictable. I do not always recognize it right away, but when I look back, I see it was peace that kept me standing. It was peace that whispered stay when I wanted to run. It was peace that did not shout, but always showed up. I used to think peace was the result of everything going right. Now I see it as the evidence that you are with me, even when everything is going wrong. It is not the fruit of perfect days. It is the miracle that shows up on the imperfect ones. And the fact that I can feel it now here, in the middle of this very moment, before anything has changed, is proof that it is real. It is not something I made up to feel better. It is something you gave to make me whole. Father, I do not want to live waiting for circumstances to calm down before I let peace in. I want to start with it. I want to wake up and speak peace over my mind before I look at a screen, before I read a message, before I hear what the world expects of me today. I want peace to be the lens I look through, not the prize I hope to find. Let me be so grounded in your presence that chaos does not steal what you have already given. And when anxiety tries to return, when fear tries to climb back into the spaces it used to occupy, let me recognize the shift. Let me feel the difference between your peace and the world's pressure. And let me choose again. Let me stop mid-thought and whisper your name. Let me pause before reacting and breathe in the steadiness of who you are. Let me believe that I can carry peace, not because I am always composed, but because you are always consistent. There are places in me, Lord, that have never known peace. Rooms that have been closed off for so long. They do not remember the sound of stillness. Let your peace go there now. Let it move into the places I thought would always stay tense. Let it fill the tight spaces, the locked memories, the clenched emotions, not just to visit, but to stay, to make its home in me, not just as a feeling, but as a way of being. I want peace to change the way I speak, the way I carry myself, the way I handle interruptions and setbacks. I want it to soften the sharp edges in my responses, to steady my heart when the day surprises me, to remind me that I do not have to be in control to be okay. I want people around me to feel it too, not because say the right things, but because I carry something deeper than the noise. Let your peace be my quiet testimony. You are not the author of confusion. You are not the God of rush or panic. You do not lead through fear. You lead through presence. through still waters and deep wells. And that is what I want to return to again and again. Not just this morning, but at noon and in the evening, and every time I feel myself drifting into pressure. Help me remember I do not need to earn what you already gave. I do not need to force what you have already promised. So even if today holds challenges I did not prepare for, even if conversations are hard and tasks are many, let peace be the undercurrent beneath it all. Let it be the quiet that holds my loudest worries, the calm that holds back the tide, the breath I come back to over and over again. You have given me peace, not as the world gives, but as only you can, and I receive it, not because I feel brave, but because I trust you more than I trust the storm. Father, this peace you have given me is not just a feeling I carry. It is a doorway I have walked through. And on the other side of it, I begin to sense what I have been craving all along. Your presence, not as a concept or theology, not as something distant or abstract, but as a reality right here in the quiet. I do not have to strain to find you. I do not have to earn my way to you. You are already here, and maybe you always were. I just was not still enough to notice. There is something sacred in this awareness, in the realization that I am not talking to the sky, not reaching into nothingness, but sitting with someone who sees me completely. Someone who is not intimidated by my past or limited by my pain. You do not rush into the room like someone arriving late. You have been waiting, gently, silently, like the sun rising without permission. You are not outside this moment looking in. You are within it, breathing life into it, making it holy by your presence alone. God, you are not far, not when I feel broken, not when I feel distracted, not when I feel numb. You are not waiting for me to be more spiritual or more focused. You meet me exactly as I am. In pajamas, with tired eyes and a cluttered heart. You are here when I am organized and motivated. But you are also here when I am overwhelmed and unsure of what to say. You are the same, always the same. And today, I finally slow down enough to see that you never left. I used to believe I had to chase after you to climb some invisible ladder of righteousness or discipline in order to feel close. But I am learning now that closeness is not a goal to reach. It is a truth to receive. You are Emmanuel, God with us, not God above us, not God later. With us, with me, in the kitchen, in the hallway, in the car, in the tension, in the waiting, in the joy, in the ordinary, in this moment right now. Lord, let that truth settle into my soul. Let it become the air I breathe, the awareness that carries me through today. You are not a Sunday God. You are not a morning-only presence. You do not clock in and out like an employee I visit when I have time. You dwell. You remain. You surround. You fill. I can talk to you in the middle of a sentence. I can cry to you while brushing my teeth. I can ask you for wisdom while walking into a room. I can sense you not because I am special, but because you are faithful. This changes how I move. When I remember that you are here, I carry myself differently, not with arrogance, not with fear, but with confidence, not in me, but in you, confidence that I am not walking alone into anything. Confidence that no conversation, no meeting, no decision will happen apart from you. You have gone before me. You are walking beside me, and you will stay behind me. I am surrounded. Father, sometimes I forget this. Sometimes I live like an orphan, like I have to figure it all out on my own. Like no one is helping me, like no one is watching over me. But that is not who I am, and it is not who you are. I am not alone. I am never alone. Even when it feels like the world is spinning too fast, or when people disappoint, or when my own thoughts betray me. You remain, and because you remain, I do not have to collapse under the weight of the day. You are my steady. You are my constant. You are not shocked by what the day holds. You do not panic over what I cannot fix. You do not abandon me when I struggle. You draw near, closer than fear, closer than noise, closer than my breath. And because you are near, I do not need to perform. I do not need to prove. I do not need to perfect anything. I only need to stay aware. Let your nearness change how I react when things do not go the way I planned. Let it guide my tone, soften my edges, slow my response. Let me remember you when I am tempted to spiral. Let me pause before I panic. Let me breathe before I rush. Let me lean into the truth that I am not navigating anything alone, that I do not need to know everything, because I am walking with the one who does. God, your presence is not a backup plan. It is not a last resort. It is the very foundation of my peace, the reason I can walk into uncertainty without crumbling, the reason I can forgive what feels unforgivable, the reason I can hope again, even after disappointment. You are not just a feeling. You are not just a theology. You are the very heartbeat of my existence. And today, I choose to live like it is true. Let your presence fill every space where fear has tried to live. Let it flood the cracks in my heart where loneliness once echoed. Let it take up residence in my thoughts, my decisions, my reactions. Let it become the filter I see everything through, not anxiety, not insecurity, but you, the steady one, you, the faithful, you, the unshakable. Even if my emotions fluctuate today, even if I get distracted, discouraged, or overwhelmed, remind me that you do not leave just because I forget. You are more faithful than my focus. You are more patient than my processing, and you always stay. So when I start to drift into self-reliance or slip into survival mode, call me back. Whisper again, I am still here. I never left. Father, I do not need you to be louder. I need to be quieter. I do not need you to come closer. I need to open my heart wider. You have already drawn near. It is me who wanders. It is me who gets preoccupied. It is me who misses the sacred hiding in the ordinary. So help me notice. Help me pause. Help me marvel at the mystery that the God of the universe chooses to sit with me in silence. This day might get messy. It might surprise me. It might stretch me. But it will not break me, because I will not be facing it alone. I am not walking into chaos unarmed. I am not entering confusion uncovered. I have your presence. And that is more than enough, not just to survive, but to walk in peace, speak with purpose, and live with quiet strength. Thank you for being the God who stays, the God who shows up without needing to be summoned, the God who chooses to dwell not in temples built by hands, but in the fragile space of a surrendered heart. Let today be shaped by this truth, not by pressure or performance or perfection, but by presence. Your presence, always here, always faithful, always enough. Father, now that I have settled into the truth of your presence, now that I know I am not walking into this day alone, another layer of fear begins to loosen its grip. That deep, quiet worry about not having enough strength. Enough answers. Enough time. Enough provision. It has followed me through seasons, whispered to me in moments of lack, shadowed my joy with constant questions, but standing here, fully aware that you are with me, I cannot ignore the invitation to trust that you will also provide for me. I have spent too much time living like I am running out, always trying to stretch what little I have, holding my breath between paychecks, stretching patience when my soul feels threadbare, wondering how long I can keep going before something gives. I have hoarded energy like a resource I am afraid to lose. I have clung to backup plans, safety nets, and silent strategies in case you did not come through the way I hoped. But that is not faith, God. That is fear in disguise. And you did not call me to live in fear of not enough. You called me to live in the freedom of divine supply. You see the bills. You see the deadlines. You see the rising costs and the shrinking margins. You see the shelves that feel empty, not just in my pantry, but in my heart. And you are not overwhelmed. You are not pacing heaven wondering how to help me. You are not limited by the same systems that make me feel small. You own it all. Time, resources, peace, strength. Everything I think I lack is already held in your hands. Lord, I do not want to just believe that you can provide. I want to live like you already have. I want to wake up and choose expectation over anxiety, to greet this day not by calculating what is missing, but by declaring what is already promised. You said you would supply all my needs, not some. Not occasionally, but all according to your riches in glory. Not according to the economy, or my job, or my understanding, but according to what you have and who you are. And you never run dry. Help me shift my focus, God. I have spent too many mornings counting what is lacking: money, time, rest, wisdom, support. But today, I want to count what is here. I want to count mercy and breath and your presence beside me. I want to recognize that even when I felt empty, you were already preparing what I could not see. There have been so many moments I did not know how I would make it, and yet I did, not by my own doing, but because you made a way, quietly, faithfully. Enough always arrived. Sometimes provision is not a dramatic miracle. Sometimes it is a whisper of strength just when I need it most. Sometimes it is a word spoken by a friend that recenters my heart. Sometimes it is wisdom that falls into place when I am out of options. Sometimes it is a peace that allows me to say no when I am tempted to strive. Let me not miss your hand, because I am looking for lightning when you have chosen to move like morning dew. You provide more than money, God. You provide clarity when confusion tries to cloud my decisions. You provide grace when I stumble. You provide endurance when I am at the end of myself. You provide open doors I did not even know to knock on. You provide people who speak life, who remind me I am not forgotten. You provide time that stretches beyond what the clock says. You provide joy in the middle of difficulty. You provide reminders that I am seen, that I matter, that I am held. Lord, break the scarcity mindset that keeps me living afraid. That subtle lie that says I must hustle to be safe. That there is never enough to rest, to give, to pause. Remind me that you are not a God of barely enough. You are not rationing out scraps of blessing. You are not withholding what I need to teach me a lesson. You are generous, lavish, overflowing. And your provision may not always come in the way I expected, but it always comes in the way needed. I release the grip I have had on trying to make everything work on my own. I release the anxiety that comes when I look at my limitations. I release the shame of needing help, of not being able to carry everything without breaking. I release the fear that says asking is weakness. I open my hands and ask you to fill them not just with things, but with peace, with trust, with a faith that believes you are already working even when I can't see the evidence yet. Father, help me live open-handed today, not clenching, not hoarding, not shrinking back. Let me be generous with kindness, because you are generous with me. Let me give my best, not because I am trying to prove something, but because I am not operating from depletion. Let me live like someone who has access to an endless source. Let me walk through my day with calm assurance that whatever is needed will be there, right on time. And for every area where I feel I am falling short, speak your truth over it. Speak abundance over lack. Speak strength over weakness. Speak overflow where I have only seen emptiness. Not because I deserve it, not because I have done enough to earn it, but because I am yours, and you take care of what belongs to you. I do not have to beg for what you have already promised. I do not have to fear what you have already secured. I only need to walk in it, to expect it, to receive it. Let this be the morning I stop living from a place of pressure and start living from a place of provision. Let this be the day I breathe easier, not because the problems are gone, but because I know the provider is here. Let me look at what is in my hands and declare it is enough, not because of its quantity, but because of its source. Let me trust that whatever I offer, you will multiply. Whatever I give, you will bless. Whatever I need, you will supply. Not one moment too late, not 1 ounce too little. God, you do not give as the world gives. The world gives conditionally, temporarily, sparingly. but you give out of the fullness of who you are. And who you are is not just generous. It is abundance itself. So I will not walk in fear today. I will not bow to the lie that I am one step away from disaster. I will not let anxiety tell me that lack is inevitable. I will live in the reality of your provision, the steady flow of mercy, the quiet arrival of answers, the daily bread of grace, everything I need for today: wisdom, energy, kindness, focus, strength. Courage is already in motion, already on its way, already written into the story you are telling through my life. Let me live like that is true. Let me breathe like that is true. Let me choose to believe that you are not just enough for me. You are more than enough, and you always will be. Father, if your provision is already in motion, if you have already promised that what I need will meet me as I move through this day, then I come now to ask for one thing I can go without your strength. Not the kind I can create by force of will or disguise with a smile. Not a burst of energy that fades in an hour. I need strength that goes deeper than what my body can generate. Strength that flows from your spirit into my awareness. That meets me not where I pretend to be, but right where I actually am. Some days, God, I wake up already tired. The kind of tired that sleep does not fix. The kind of tired that weighs on my soul, not just my limbs. I go through the motions. I get dressed. I show up, but something inside me feels spent before the sun is even high. Maybe it is the decisions I have had to carry, the conversations I have replayed, the unknowns I can make peace with. Maybe it is the slow accumulation of responsibilities, of expectations, of quiet disappointments that I never let myself feel fully. Whatever the reason, I bring that fatigue to you. I do not want to mask it. I want to meet you in it. You do not despise my weakness. You do not roll your eyes when I admit that I am worn thin. You do not shake your head and say, just push through. Instead, you remind me that you are the God who gives power to the faint, who renews strength to the one who has none left. You do not expect me to carry what you have already offered to lift. You do not call me to fake resilience. You call me to rest in you. So here I am, not asking for a surge of adrenaline, but for a steady flow of grace. I am not asking to feel invincible. I am asking to be sustained, to rise from this prayer not with the illusion of control, but with the quiet courage that knows I have been equipped for whatever comes. You know what is ahead. You know where the resistance will rise, where the interruptions will break my rhythm, where the weight will grow heavier than I expected. Meet me in those moments. Fill me before I arrive. Prepare me now. Let your strength move through my mind, clearing out the fog that clouds my thinking. Let it guard my heart from the emotional currents that want to pull me in too deep. Let it settle in my bones when my body wants to collapse under pressure. Let it become the way I stand when I feel like shrinking. Let it remind me that endurance is not about gritting my teeth. It is about leaning into the one who already knows how to carry me. Lord, there are things today that feel beyond me, conversations I am not sure I can handle, responsibilities that feel bigger than my capacity, people who need more than I feel I can give. but you have never asked me to do life alone. You have never handed me an assignment and walked away. You stay. You empower. You speak through me. You move with me. You surround me with a grace that is always exactly enough. So let me not walk timidly into this day. Let me walk with a holy boldness, not because I think I have what it takes, but because I know you do. Let me rise with the confidence that I was made for this moment, not because I am unshakable, but because you are. Let me silence the voice that says I can and listen instead for the truth that says, through you, I can. Not perfectly, not effortlessly, but faithfully. Your strength does not always look like power. Sometimes it looks like gentleness in the face of offense. Sometimes it looks like a soft answer when I want to defend myself. Sometimes it is choosing stillness over rushing, patience over reacting, compassion over control. Help me see those moments not as weakness, but as evidence that your strength is living in me, that I do not need to dominate to overcome. I just need to remain rooted in you. Even when my own strength fails, let that be the very place your power begins. Not after I get it all together, not once I feel ready, but exactly when I feel empty, when I admit I do not have it in me. That is when you move. That is when you surprise me with joy in the middle of fatigue, with clarity in the middle of confusion, with peace in the middle of a storm I thought I would drown in. I want to depend on you today, not out of desperation, but out of devotion. I do not want to wait until I am at the edge to remember I need you. I want to walk with you moment by moment, to draw from you like a well that never runs dry, to lean on you not just in the hard parts, but in the ordinary ones too. In traffic, in small talk, in waiting rooms, in emails, in laughter, in frustration, in every heartbeat. Father, let your strength show up in me when I choose grace over retaliation, when I speak up for what is right even if my voice trembles, when I carry someone else's burden without needing credit, when I keep going after hearing news I did not want, when I show up again after disappointment, when I forgive again after betrayal, when I say yes to healing and no to fear. Let those moments remind me that I am not drawing from my own well. I am drawing from yours. You are not asking me to be limitless. You are reminding me that I am connected to the one who is. So I will stop pretending that I can do this on my own. I will stop trying to outrun burnout or silence fatigue with distraction. I will come to you first, before the day gets loud, before the pace accelerates, before the expectations tighten around my chest. I will come here, where strength is not something I earn, but something I receive. I do not need to feel strong to be strong. I just need to stay close to you. I do not need to know how I will handle it all. I just need to know you will be with me in every part. That is enough. That is more than enough. So I won't be ashamed of my need today. I won't hide behind false strength. I will show up as I am, trusting that you are faithful to meet me, to fill me, and to carry me. God, thank you that your strength is not scarce, that it is not measured by merit, that it does not fade with my emotions or shift with my circumstances. Thank you that it flows steady, that it reaches low, and that it lifts high. Thank you that it is available now, in this breath, in this moment, in this prayer. Let me take hold of it not with clenched fists, but with open hands. Let me walk in it not with swagger, but with steady peace. Let me live in it not as a visitor, but as a child who knows they are supported, seen, and never alone. Father, if your strength is what carries me when I feel weak, then it is your guidance that keeps me from wandering. It is not enough to simply endure the day. I want to walk in the direction you have set before me. I do not want to run fast in the wrong lane. I do not want to be busy doing things that look good but pull me away from what is truly right. I want to follow you not just in spirit, but in the steps I take, in the words I speak, in the decisions I make when no one else is watching. So I come to you now, not just asking for endurance, but for direction. I do not need a map that shows the whole path, but I do need a light for this next step. I do not need all the answers, but I do need peace in the not knowing. You promise to guide me with your eye upon me, to lead me in the way I should go, so I lift my eyes to yours, not to the expectations of others, not to the voice of doubt, not to the noise of culture. Just you, just the one who sees everything clearly when I can see past this moment. God, it is humbling to admit how often I have tried to guide myself, how many times I have pushed forward in haste, mistaking urgency for clarity, how often I have rushed into choices without asking you to lead. I have confused movement with progress and approval with wisdom. But you are not in the rush. You are in the rhythm of steady, intentional steps. So slow me down enough to hear you. Quiet the voices that cloud your whisper. Make your direction unmistakable in a world full of distraction. There are crossroads before me, decisions I have delayed because I am afraid of choosing wrong. Options that both seem reasonable, but one is right. I have tried to weigh the pros and cons. I have sought advice, but what I need most now is the still, quiet voice of the shepherd, the one who knows not just what is good, but what is best, the one who sees around corners and into hearts, the one who leads not with confusion, but with clarity, not with pressure, but with peace. Let that peace be my compass, not fleeting feelings or momentary ease. Let your peace rule in my heart when I start to hesitate or overthink, when doubt tries to cloud my vision or fear tries to anchor my feet in place. Remind me that obedience is not always about knowing the destination. Sometimes it is just about trusting the next step. You promise to instruct and teach me in the way I should go. So even when I do not feel qualified, even when I am unsure, I choose to believe you are leading. Father, I ask you to shut every door that is not from you. No matter how appealing, no matter how promising. If it is not your path for me, I do not want it. And I ask you to open the doors you have appointed, even if they scare me, even if they stretch me, even if they do not look like what I expected. Give me the courage to walk through them without delay. Give me the discernment to recognize when you are speaking and when it is only the echo of my own desires. Sometimes the hardest guidance to receive is the one that leads me to wait, when nothing is moving and no answers are clear, when others seem to be running forward and I am still standing still. In those moments, help me trust that waiting is not wasted, that standing still with you is better than moving without you, that patience is also a form of direction, and silence can still be sacred if it keeps me near you. And when I begin to question myself, when I replay choices I have made or roads I have already taken, remind me that you are able to redeem every step, that even detours are not defeats when I give them back to you, that you are not only the guide before me, but the Redeemer behind me, that nothing is too far gone to be turned into grace. Help me forgive myself for the places I walked without you, and help me learn to walk more closely with you now. Lord, let your voice be the loudest one I hear. Let it rise above anxiety and second-guessing. Let it drown out fear of failure and the lure of comfort. Let it be the voice that reminds me I am not wandering aimlessly. I am following faithfully. Let it remind me that guidance is not just for major life decisions. It is for everyday moments, the way I respond to a difficult person, the way I choose to spend my time, the way I speak to my own soul when no one else hears. I need you in the simple, Lord, in the quiet details that no one applauds, in the choices that won't make headlines but will shape my character, in the little sacrifices, the daily surrender, the unseen obedience. These are the places where guidance becomes transformation. These are the moments where I become who you have created me to be, not overnight, but through faithful, Spirit-led steps. You are not a distant God who points and leaves. You are the good shepherd who walks with me, who goes ahead and calls me by name. So even if the path is unfamiliar, even if the terrain is rough, I will keep walking because I trust the one who leads. I will not measure today by what I accomplish or how clear everything feels. I will measure it by how closely I walk with you. God, help me keep my eyes up, not inward in worry, not outward in comparison, but upward, fixed on you, the one who sees all, who knows all, who loves without condition and leads without mistake. If I wander, call me back. If I pause, be patient with me. If I run ahead, slow me down. Whatever it takes, do not let me drift from your path. Don't let me be satisfied with any road that does not carry your presence. Let me begin this day not with confidence in my own ability to make the right decisions, but with confidence in your ability to lead me through all of them. Let me speak only what you would have me say. Let me go only where you would have me go. Let my heart move at the pace of your Spirit. Let my life become the evidence that being guided by you is not about perfection, but about presence. So I surrender the map I have been clinging to. I lay down the timeline I thought I had to follow. I release the control I never truly had. I ask for your direction, not because I am lost, but because I belong to you. I ask for your hand, not because I can walk, because I do not want to walk alone. I ask for your eye to stay upon me, not because I am afraid to fall, but because I know your gaze never turns away. Wherever you lead today, I will follow. Even if the way is unfamiliar, even if it looks like a path through the wilderness, even if it leads me to people or places I did not expect. As long as you are there, it is the right way. As long as you are leading, I will not fear. As long as your presence surrounds me, I am exactly where I need to be. Father, if I truly believe that you are leading me, then I must also learn to trust you in the places where you ask me to pause. Not every path is walked in motion. Some are walked in stillness. Some are marked not by the ground covered, but by the ground surrendered. And right now, even as I long to move, even as my heart strains toward answers, I feel you calling me not to run, but to wait. And I admit, that is hard for me. Waiting feels like nothing is happening, like I am stuck, like life is moving for everyone else, and I am just watching from the sidelines. I see people taking steps, making progress, posting milestones, and here I am still here. Still praying, still trusting, but not moving the way I thought I would. It is tempting to believe that waiting means forgotten, that silence means rejection. But you are reminding me again that in your kingdom, waiting is never wasted. You are not indifferent to time. You created it. You hold it. You weave it into something beautiful that only eternity will fully reveal. I want to see it now, but you are teaching me to trust you before I see, to believe that the soil does not betray the seed just because it hides it, that the dark is not a denial of growth, but a container for it, that the quiet is not a punishment, but a preparation. So here I am, Lord, not with answers, but with willingness. Teach me how to wait well, not with clenched fists or a bitter heart, but with open hands and steady trust. Teach me how to sit in the in-between and still call it sacred. Teach me how to resist the urge to force doors open that you have kept shut for a reason. Teach me how to stop treating delay as defeat and start recognizing it as divine care. You are not late. You are not careless. You do not need reminders of what I have prayed. You have not missed my heart's cry. And while I may not know the reason for the pause, I trust that you do. I trust that there are things you are building in the waiting that could never grow in the rush. Things like patience, endurance, and trust not rooted in results, but in relationship. Father, help me stop measuring time by what has or has not happened. Let me begin measuring it by who I am becoming while I wait. Help me see that every day I do not see the answer. I have an opportunity to see you more clearly, to know your presence in a deeper way, to lean on you not for what you do, but for who you are. That is the kind of intimacy I want, the kind that is not shaken when the answer is delayed, the kind that can sit in the unknown and still say, "You are good. There are things I am waiting on." Lord, things I have whispered to you in the quiet, healing for the places that still hurt, direction where confusion remains, restoration in relationships I have grieved over, provision for needs I can fix, doors to open, promises to be fulfilled, prayers to be answered. You know each one. You have counted every tear that came from the of a holding on without knowing when or how, and you have never turned away. You have stayed through every question, through every sigh, through every hope I have carried like a fragile gift. And now, as I wait, let me not grow hard. Let me not grow cold. Let me not settle into cynicism because things did not happen when I expected. Let me keep tenderness in my spirit. Let me stay soft. Stay open. Stay ready. Let me continue to look for you, even when I do not yet see the change. Because I know that waiting with you is not the same as waiting alone. I am not abandoned. I am not forgotten. I am being held in the space between what was and what will be. God, let this waiting deepen me, not diminish me. Let it stretch me without snapping me. Let it anchor me instead of unmoor me. Help me see that your pace is perfect, even when it feels slow. That what you are preparing is worth the patience it requires. That timing is not just about events aligning, but about hearts being made ready. If something is not yet here, then perhaps it is because it is not yet time. And if it is not time, then waiting is not punishment. It is protection. You do not rush what you love. You take your time with things that matter. You shape slowly what you intend to last. And though I long for quick resolution, I am beginning to understand that slow work is not inferior. It is often more thorough, more lasting, more rooted. So if I must wait, let me do it with faith. Let me do it with expectancy, not just for the outcome, but for the encounter. To meet you here, to discover something holy in what I once resented. And when doubt whispers that nothing is changing, remind me of the unseen work. Remind me that seeds break before they bloom, that roots grow deep before anything appears above ground, that you are not only working on the circumstances, I am the soil you are working on, too. You are tending me, watering me, strengthening me. You are planting things in this season that will feed future ones. Let this waiting become worship. Let it be an offering of trust that says, I believe you are doing more than I can see. Let it be the kind of faith that does not need constant confirmation. Let it be the kind of peace that does not crumble under prolonged silence. Let it be the kind of love that continues to return to you day after day, not for what you will give, but for who you are. I do not want to just pass time. I want to steward it, to hold this waiting season like a sacred appointment, to be present with you in the now, even while I am longing for what is next. And if there are lessons here, do not let me miss them. If there is growth to be had, help me lean into it. If there is stillness that brings healing, let me receive it. So I lay down my timeline again. I release my expectations again. I loosen my grip on urgency and lift my eyes to you. The one who sees the whole picture. The one who is never in a hurry and never too late. The one who has not forgotten what you spoke, and who will complete what you began. Let my soul settle today, not because I have seen the outcome, but because as I have seen you. Let me find rest here in the middle, in the pause, in the unfulfilled. Let me be okay with being in process. Let me remember that the wait is not the enemy. It is the space where you meet me again and again, where you do some of your best work, and where hope is not lost, it is being refined. Lord, as I rise this morning, still wrapped in the quietness of my thoughts, I continue to sense your steady invitation into trust. From yesterday's stillness, I walk into today with a quieter heart, yet I know that the true battlefield is not in the silence outside of me, but within the arena of my mind. The doubts may not shout today, but they linger in shadows. And the lies I have unknowingly allowed still sometimes whisper louder than truth. And so I bring my mind before you, Lord, asking not just for peace in my heart, but for clarity and victory in my thoughts. There are days when I wake up already fighting, not against flesh and blood, but against the inner critics, the distorted memories, the voices of fear pretending to be logic. And without your light, Lord, I stumble through them as though they are truth. I have seen how easily discouragement can slip in, how quickly shame rewrites my story, how subtly anxiety paints false futures. I have learned that if I do not actively choose your truth, my mind defaults to the noise of this world. But you are not the author of chaos. You do not speak in the voice of condemnation. And so, I ask you now to renew my mind, moment by moment. Realign every thought with the truth of who you are and who I am in you. Let no lie linger unchallenged. Let no fear be allowed to set up residence in the space you have claimed. Let no bitterness be nurtured where only grace should grow. I open my thoughts to your correction, not because I want control, but because I desire freedom. I do not want to just think better. I want to think in alignment with you. I want to view the world, myself, and others through your lens, not through wounds or weariness, not through cynicism or pride, but through the eyes of grace and discernment. Train me, God, to catch every thought before it takes root. Help me be vigilant, not in fear, but in reverence, knowing that thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs shape destiny. There are lies I have carried so long they feel like facts. Lies that tell me I will never be enough. Lies that tell me my past defines me. Lies that echo failure louder than your promises. But today I lay them down at your feet, one by one, not with fanfare, but with humility. And as I release them, I ask you to speak something new over me, not just affirmations, but living truth, your word planted in my thinking like seeds in fresh soil. Guard my mind, Lord, not just from external attacks, but from internal sabotage. Sometimes it is not the enemy that defeats me, it is the way I talk to myself when no one is listening. Help me be kind in my self-conversations. Help me speak to myself the way you speak to me, with mercy, patience, and compassion. Let the script in my mind match the tone of your spirit. And when intrusive thoughts come, when anxiety builds a storm in my brain, when lies circle like vultures waiting for weakness, remind me I have weapons. I have praise. I have your promises. I have the name that breaks strongholds. I have the authority you have given to stand firm. I am not helpless in the face of mental warfare. I am not a passive victim to every emotional wave or thought spiral. I am equipped, covered, and loved. Let me meditate not on worst-case scenarios, but on the goodness I have already seen. Let me recall your faithfulness in the small and in the storm. Let me practice gratitude until it becomes the default language of my mind. Let thankfulness interrupt every trail of worry. Let worship dismantle every lie that seeks to grow roots in my thoughts. I do not just want fleeting positivity, I want enduring transformation. This morning, I consecrate not just my actions to you, but my inner world, the patterns I have built, the ruts I have followed, The conclusions I have drawn, none of them are beyond your reach. You are the God who renews, who takes what is broken and makes it useful, who turns ashes into beauty. And if my mind is weary, confused, or tangled in past pain, you are not intimidated. You meet me here with wisdom and gentleness. Sometimes I confuse mental clutter with productivity, but busy thoughts are not always holy thoughts. Even when I am planning, worrying, or problem-solving, I want to do it from a place of rest, a place that remembers I am not the one holding the world together, a place that trusts you are already ahead of me, preparing what I can yet see. I want to carry the mind of Christ, not just in theology, but in temperament, in humility, in peace. Lord, shape my perspective today. Let me see interruptions not as burdens, but as divine appointments. Let me interpret delays not as punishment, but as preparation. Let me view myself not through the failures I remember, but through the grace you continually extend. Let me stop assigning motives to others out of suspicion, and instead learn to be slow to judge, quick to listen, and gentle in response. Give me a disciplined mind, not one bound by fear, but one trained in love. Love that believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Let that love direct my internal dialogue. Let it silence the comparisons that diminish joy. Let it quiet the inner critic who distorts purpose. Let it amplify your voice until all others fade. Even when I feel surrounded by noise, digital noise, emotional noise, cultural noise, give me the discernment to tune into your frequency. Let me return to stillness often, not out of obligation, but desire. Let me protect sacred space in my thinking, where only you are allowed to speak. Let me fast from voices that stir chaos and feast on words that restore. If I have built thought patterns around scarcity, shame, or self-reliance, help me unlearn them gently. I do not want to live driven by the fear of missing out or messing up. I want to live rooted in the peace that you are with me, for me, and working all things together for good even in ways I do not yet comprehend. That truth is enough to quiet the panic that sometimes rises before the day has even begun. As I step into today, remind me again that my thoughts do not have to control me, that I can lead my mind where you lead my spirit, that I can challenge every mental stronghold with the truth of your word, that I can choose what I dwell on, that I can take every thought captive and make it obedient to you, not by my strength, but by your spirit working in me. So here I am, choosing to believe that you are renewing me daily, that each morning is a new invitation to align my thoughts with heaven, that each breath is a reminder that I am loved, and each thought surrendered is another brick in the foundation of freedom you are building in me. I won't always get it right, but I will keep returning. I will keep replacing lies with truth. I will keep coming back to you, the keeper of my mind and the author of my peace. Father, as the light gently stretches farther into the corners of my heart, I continue to lean into this unfolding day with the same breath of stillness that carried me through the last moment of prayer. There is no break in this rhythm of closeness with you, only a deeper drawing, a wider space being made in me for your presence to flood. What began as a whisper in the quiet hours has grown into a steady current of trust that urges me to let go of everything that once made me fearful to begin again. God, I confess there are pieces of me still clinging to yesterday, wounds I did not ask for, questions that sat unanswered on my pillow through the night. But you are not the God of yesterday as shadows. You are the author of the newness that greets me now. As the sun climbs, you pull me out of what is behind and invite me forward. Not because I have it all together, but because you never asked me to walk alone. You ask only for my hand and my yes. You ask for surrender, not perfection. So I place my anxieties into your care, not as a vague hope, but as a sacred transfer of weight from my shoulders to yours. You promise your burden is light, and I am beginning to believe that this is more than just words. It is an invitation to rest even while I move. Teach me how to work without worry. Teach me how to speak without fear. Teach me how to step without second-guessing myself. I do not want my peace to come from my circumstances. I want it to come from the certainty of your nearness. Lord, guide me in releasing the things I cannot fix, the people I cannot carry, and the situations that do not belong to me. You know my tendencies, how I replay conversations, how I try to predict every outcome, how I struggle to sit still in uncertainty. But you are not limited like I am. You are already in the outcome I cannot see. And while I fumble to create answers, you are quietly weaving outcomes that are better than my asking. Let this morning be marked not by my need to control, but by my willingness to trust. Let my breathing slow in the awareness that you are holding what I cannot. Let my spirit exhale into your sufficiency, not just in theory, but in practice. Take from my clenched hands everything that was never mine to bear, and place in their stead the tools of peace, gratitude, gentleness, discernment, and courage. This day will offer demands. I know it. Unexpected interruptions, decisions that weigh heavy, perhaps even encounters that test my patience. But if you go before me, I do not need to armor myself with defensiveness or fear. I only need to remember whose I am and walk as one beloved and protected. I do not need to prove myself in every room. I do not need to force my way into clarity. I can wait. I can listen. I can let grace do what hurry never could. God, as I move through tasks and conversations today, be the rhythm beneath my words. Let my tone carry the tone of heaven, gentle, yet sure. Let my presence reflect your steadiness. Let my eyes notice what matters, and let my words uplift instead of impress. If silence is needed, teach me to rest there too. If action is called for, give me strength that is not my own. And when moments come that bring pain or confusion, help me not to panic. Let me remember that pain is not a sign that you have abandoned me. It is often a door to deeper presence. If only I would pause and seek you in it. Let nothing drive me from that awareness. You are in the tension. You are in the in-between. You are in the details I overlook, and the ones I can stop obsessing over. I want to be ruled by trust, not tension. I want to be rooted in truth, not tossed about by every emotion that rises. You made me to feel, but not to be driven by my feelings. Anchor me, Lord, in the confidence of your promises. Let this morning be soaked in reminders of your faithfulness through birdsong, through quiet moments, through whispers of kindness in the people I meet. And as the hours pass, give me a sense of sacred purpose, not the heavy burden of performance, but the lightness that comes from knowing I am already loved, already seen, already approved. Let that be enough. Strip away the pressure to impress and replace it with a longing to bless. May my striving turn into serving and my proving into peace. Father, awaken within me a deeper hunger for what lasts. I do not want to build a day on things that will fade. Let me hunger for righteousness, for compassion, for justice that begins in my own heart. Make me tender again. Break the places that have grown cynical. Heal the cracks with humility, and let grace rush into every hardened space. You are not done with me. This day is not a repeat of the last. It is an entirely new canvas. And though I may feel stuck in patterns, you are always writing something new. Open my eyes to the small miracles, a second chance, a quiet breakthrough, an unexplainable peace that arrives before the situation changes. Lord, I believe that even the unseen parts of this day matter. The prayers whispered between meetings, the moment I choose to pause instead of react, the decision to be kind when I have the right to be cold. These are the victories heaven celebrates, even if no one else notices. Let me live with that kind of vision, not for applause, but for alignment. And even when nothing seems to go the way I imagined, keep me grounded in this truth. You waste nothing, not the waiting, not the weeping, not the wondering. You use it all. You redeem what looks broken. You restore what seems too far gone. You rebuild what we thought was lost, and in doing so, you reveal more of yourself. May I walk slowly enough to recognize your voice and brave enough to follow when it calls me out of comfort. Keep me tender and teachable. Let nothing harden my heart, not disappointment, not delay, not doubt. This day belongs to you. Let my thoughts echo that. Let my choices reflect that. Let my words confirm that. Not just in the easy moments, but especially in the messy ones. There is peace in this surrender. Not the kind that comes from having every question answered, but the kind that comes from knowing you hold every answer. Not the kind that denies difficulty, but the kind that walks through difficulty with dignity and assurance. This is the peace I long for, not borrowed from the world, but birthed from within because you live there, God. As the morning stretches further and the weight of the day begins to settle, may I continue carrying your promises like a lantern in the dark. Let me speak from them, decide from them, rest in them. And when my strength runs low, remind me again that yours does not. There is always enough with you. There is always a reason to trust, even when I cannot yet see the reason why. Father, as I move forward with the quiet assurance that settled into my spirit like the morning light in the last breath of prayer, I find myself craving more of that steady rhythm that only comes from staying close to you. The deeper I walk into this day, the more I realize how fragile peace can feel when it is rooted in things outside of you. But when it is grounded in your unchanging nature, It becomes immovable even in the presence of pressure, even when circumstances threaten to unravel. Lord, you see how easily I am distracted, how quickly my thoughts can scatter, how sometimes, even in the middle of a moment of trust, my heart drifts toward old worries. But you are patient. You do not scold me for my wandering thoughts. Instead, you gently call me back into the stillness, back into the quiet strength of your promises. Each time I feel overwhelmed, you offer rest, not escape, but realignment, not the absence of responsibility, but the confidence to carry it with grace. And I know I can carry what is mine when I remember I am not alone. I can carry it because you carried me first. I can walk through the unknown because you already stand at the other side of it. You are not surprised by what surprises me. You are not shaken when the world around me trembles. Your presence is not a flicker, it is a fortress. You are not seasonal. You are steadfast. And because of that, I can keep going, not because I feel brave, but because you are with me. God, as the day unfolds, I ask you to train my heart to stay steady, not reactive, not consumed by urgency, but rooted in truth. Let my thoughts be governed by what is eternal, not by what is loud. Let my emotions rise and fall without stealing my peace. Let the current of your word be stronger in me than the pull of temporary discomfort. I do not ask you to remove every challenge from my path. I only ask that you shape me into someone who walks through challenges without forgetting who walks beside me. There are so many things that beg for my attention. Notifications, conversations, tasks that pile up. But in the middle of all that noise, let my soul be anchored in a deeper, quiet, a holy stillness that holds fast even when life does not slow down. Let me live from that place, not visit it only when I feel broken. Let that stillness be my home, the place I return to throughout the day, not because I have earned it, because you invite me back to it over and over again. Lord, help me pay attention to the unseen victories. The moment I choose patience over irritation, the decision to pause and listen when my mind wants to rush, the quiet strength it takes to respond with kindness when I feel misunderstood. These are the small hinges upon which the door of spiritual maturity turns. Help me not overlook them. You are shaping me, not in flashes of glory, but in the ordinary choices of a faithful life. Let me not chase the dramatic and miss the divine. Let me not run after big answers and miss the small obedience you are asking of me today. Sometimes it is not about knowing what is next, it is about being faithful with what is now, about showing up to the moment with my full heart, about staying present, even when the moment is messy, about trusting that you are working, even when I can measure progress with my eyes. You are the God of process, not just outcomes. The God who values presence more than performance. The one who celebrates every yes, no matter how small. And so I give you my yes again today, not because I feel strong, but because I know you are strong in me. Not because I feel worthy, but because your grace covers me. I give you my yes in the quiet places, before the applause, before the confirmation, before the outcome I hope for. I give it because I trust you with what I cannot yet see. And if I am honest, some of what I carry still feels too big for me. There are questions I am afraid to ask, outcomes I am scared to face. But even that fear I place before you, not to pretend it does not exist, but to confess that it no longer has the final say. You speak louder. You love deeper. You stay longer. My fear is real, but it is not king. You are. And in the presence of a king who is also a father, fear loses its grip. Let my heart remain soft today, not hardened by disappointment or fatigue, not shielded by bitterness or pride. Keep me tender, Lord, tender enough to cry if needed, tender enough to laugh when joy surprises me, tender enough to notice the needs around me. Let no pain in me make me blind to the pain in others. Let no pressure in me turn into impatience toward the people I encounter. You call me to love not when it is convenient, but when it costs something. You call me to serve not from overflow alone, but sometimes from sacrifice. Give me the strength to give even when I am tired. Give me wisdom to discern when to say yes and when to say no. Guard me from overextending out of pride and teach me the humility of boundaries. Let love be my compass, not guilt. Let peace be my guide, not pressure. God, help me move through this day with open hands, ready to release what is not mine to hold, ready to receive what you long to give, not clinging to control, but clinging to you. Teach me to stop mid-thought and remember your truth, to pause mid-decision and ask for your direction, to quiet the noise and make space for your whisper, because your whisper changes everything. You are the source of all I need today, the source of patience when I run low, the source of wisdom when I feel confused, the source of strength when I feel stretched thin, the source of joy even in sorrow. Let me run to you first, not last. Let you be my instinct, not just my backup plan. Let you be my safe place, not just my rescue. Let me walk with you, not just toward you. Let me abide, not just visit. So when the moments of doubt come, and I know they will let me return to the truth, that I am held, that I am known, that I am never outside the reach of your goodness, that even my weakest prayers are heard, that even when I feel alone, you are closer than my breath. Let that assurance shape how I move through this day with grace, with confidence, with quiet joy. And in all of it, may you be glorified in the way I speak, in the way I listen, in the way I choose to stay rooted when everything tries to pull me away. Let your peace guard my heart and your promises guard my mind. Let my life today become a reflection, not of my own strength, but of the beauty that comes from trusting you moment by moment. God, in the quiet continuation of what you have already planted in my heart this morning, I find myself leaning into your stillness once again, as each thought slows to match the rhythm of your peace. I begin to recognize that this journey is not about rushing towards something, but about remaining in someone, you, the unchanging center of all that I am. And even as my steps carry me forward into today's unknowns, my spirit rests securely in the known truth of your unwavering presence. Father, it is in this place of holy calm that I begin to breathe deeper, not because everything is perfect, but because you are, not because my path is without obstacles. but because you have promised to walk with me through them. And in that promise, I do not need to flinch at every shadow, nor brace myself for imagined disasters. I can simply walk one faithful step at a time, because you are already ahead, preparing grace for every moment I will need. Let me not chase after the illusion of certainty. Help me let go of the need to have every detail mapped out. Replace my obsession with control with a deep delight in surrender. You are not asking me to carry the future, just to trust the one who holds it. And when I feel my mind racing ahead trying to script outcomes or pricked pain, remind me to return to now, to this breath, to this moment, to this very step. Because you are here, not only in the future I fear or the past I mourn, but fully present in this space between. Lord, teach me to stop seeing interruptions as irritations. Help me instead recognize them as invitations. Invitations to pause, to realign, to show grace. Whether it is a delay, a detour, or a difficult conversation, let me see the sacred even in the mundane. Let me choose presence over performance. Let me see people instead of problems. Let me walk through the day not merely to get through it, but to bring light into every place my feet touch. I know that calmness is not weakness, and peace is not passivity. Rather, they are reflections of trust, evidence that I know where my security lies. So when chaos swirls around me, anchor me in truth. When tension rises, help me lower my voice and raise my awareness. When emotions threaten to rule me, remind me to submit them to you instead. Let my spirit stay in harmony with your spirit, so that my reactions reflect the fruit of our relationship, not the weight of my circumstances. God, I want to be slow to speak and quick to listen, not only to others, but to you. I want to cultivate a heart that does not just react, but responds with wisdom. Let that wisdom be gentle, not harsh. Let it be humble, not haughty. Let it come from you, not from fear disguised as control. Help me trust that sometimes the wisest move is silence, and sometimes it is boldness. Give me the discernment to know the difference. Remind me that peace is a posture, not a passive state. It is a position I choose again and again. It is the decision to stay rooted in what is true, even when lies feel louder. It is the discipline of setting my mind, not on the problem, but on your promises. And even when I feel stretched, remind me that peace is not the absence of strain, but the presence of strength beneath it. You are that strength. You are the steady foundation that does not crack when the world around me shakes. So let this day not be wasted in worry. Let it not slip away in the grasp of anxiety or the grip of business. Let it be lived fully and freely. Let it be marked not by how much I accomplish, but by how well I abide. Let it be rich not in recognition or results, but in the quiet assurance that I walked closely with you. And if at the end of this day, the only thing I did well was stay connected to your heart, then let me count it as holy. Lord, I ask for the grace to carry responsibility without letting it crush me. I ask for the patience to serve without growing resentful. I ask for the joy that runs deeper than circumstances. And I ask for the faith to believe that you are working even in what I cannot yet understand. Sometimes peace is found not in knowing why, but in remembering who. And you are the same yesterday, today, and forever. That is enough. Train me to walk in rhythm with you, not ahead of you in anxious striving, not behind you in fearful hesitation, but beside you as one who trusts the shepherd's pace. Whether you lead me through quiet waters or challenging valleys, let me trust the pace, not just the path. Let me trust the delays as much as the accelerations. Let me trust the silence as much as the breakthroughs. Let me trust the process, not just the promise. And when people misunderstand my stillness, when they interpret my calm as indifference, help me not defend it but live it. Let the fruit of peace be its own testimony. Let the gentleness in my tone, the kindness in my response, the patience in my waiting speak louder than any explanation. I do not need to be loud to be faithful. I do not need to be impressive to be useful. I just need to be yielded. Give me a heart that sees the sacredness in slowing down, not to become passive, but to become aware of the beauty I might miss if I am always rushing, aware of the people who need my undivided attention, aware of the small ways you whisper throughout the day, maybe in the smile of a stranger, the rustling of leaves, or the unexpected comfort of a simple moment. Let my spirit be open enough to recognize you in all of it. God, let me walk with integrity today, not perfection, but consistency. Let my words match my beliefs. Let my choices reflect my values. Let my posture speak before my performance does. Let me live in such a way that peace is not something I talk about, is something others encounter in me. And when they ask where it comes from, let my life point them back to you. You are the source of this peace that makes no sense to the world. This peace that walks into the storm without fear. This peace that looks at the impossible and still chooses hope. This peace that does not deny pain, but refuses to be defined by it. Let me carry that peace not as a burden, but as a banner. Let it go before me, settle around me, and remain within me. And if I forget even just for a moment, bring me back, not with shame, but with a gentle tug on my soul. Remind me of what is true. Remind me that I am not required to earn peace, but simply to receive it, not to strive for approval, but to rest in the identity you have already given, that I am yours, that I am loved, that I am enough, not because of my effort, but because of your grace. So I walk into this day again, not with fear, but with quiet courage, not with certainty, but with confidence in the one who goes before me, not carrying every weight, but casting them as I go. And in doing so, I become light enough to carry light into the spaces that need it most, light that warms, not burns, light that invites, not intimidates, light that reflects, not demands attention. Let that be the legacy of this day, not just tasks checked off or goals achieved, but the ripple effect of peace carried well, the unseen impact of a life anchored in something deeper than success or comfort, the quiet revolution of a soul that chose trust over tension. That is how I want to live, not just today, but every day you give me breath, and in that, you are glorified. Father, as I continue to carry the light of peace from where you last met me, I recognize how deeply I need your grace to keep that light steady. The day continues to unfold, and though my feet move forward, my heart stays bowed before you. There is a quiet determination, not loud or boastful, but anchored in something unshakable. That stillness you placed within me has begun to shape the way I see everything around me. And I long to walk in that awareness without losing it to distraction or demand. God, I confess that even in this stillness, the world tries to pull me into noise again. Notifications, expectations, responsibilities all vying for my attention, each one whispering urgency. But your spirit gently reminds me that not every voice deserves a response. Not every weight is mine to carry. Not every battle is mine to fight. You have already gone before me. You have already made provision. And so I ask, Lord, teach me to prioritize presence over pressure. Let the work I do today be filled with meaning, because it is done with you, not just for you. Let my conversations carry warmth, not just words. Let my tasks flow from grace, not from the grind. I want to be productive without becoming hurried, effective without becoming hardened. May my actions stem from intimacy, not insecurity. Let everything I do be an extension of being with you first. That, I believe, is the sacred rhythm you created me for abiding. Then advancing, Lord, when the day grows heavy with demands I did not expect, help me not collapse under them, but bring them to you. Teach me to pause before reacting, to breathe before deciding, and to listen before assuming. These are the small choices that keep my soul tethered to peace. Let wisdom rise up in those moments, not from intellect, but from intimacy. Let discernment come not from fear of getting it wrong, but from confidence that you are guiding me, even when the way ahead is not fully clear. Father, when frustration tries to creep in, help me name it before it names me. Help me release what I cannot control. If there are people I cannot please or problems I cannot fix, let me offer them back to you with open hands. I am not the Savior. I am not the source, but I am a vessel. I am a reflection. I am a resting place for your spirit. So let my life today be a quiet testimony of what it looks like to carry peace even in places where peace does not naturally dwell. God, renew my patience, not just in the long waits, but in the small ones, in the traffic, in the interruptions, in the delays that seem to serve no purpose. Remind me that these pauses are not wasted. You are just as present in the waiting as you are in the breakthroughs. In fact, you often speak clearest when I stop striving long enough to hear. Let me become comfortable in the silence, not threatened by it, but nourished through it. You are not a distant God shouting from far off. You are a whisperer, always near, waiting for the noise within me to settle. Help me notice the sacred in the simple, the sunlight through my window, the warmth of a kind word, the beauty of a shared smile. These are not small things. These are divine glimpses into your character. These are reminders that heaven is closer than we think, that miracles are not always dramatic, but often found in the ordinary moments we are too distracted to notice. Keep my spirit alert to these divine interruptions. Let me treasure them. And Lord, protect my mind from rehearsing imagined disasters. Sometimes the greatest drain of peace is not what is happening, but what I fear might happen. I lay before you every what if and every looming unknown. I choose to trust your presence more than my predictions. I surrender my need to forecast the future and instead rest in your promise that you will be with me, no matter what comes. Keep me from rushing to fix what you have not called me to fix. Sometimes the most powerful thing I can do is to stand still and pray. Let me not measure my impact by noise or numbers, but by obedience. If today you call me to the background, let me be faithful there. If you call me forward, let me be humble there. Either way, let me remember that proximity to your heart is the true measure of success. And Father, I lift to you the relationships I will encounter today, whether with family, friends, coworkers, or strangers. May I bring peace into those spaces. Let my presence disarm tension, not add to it. Let me be slow to judge and quick to understand. Help me see each person as you do. Deeply known, fully loved, and eternally valued. Let me offer grace even when it is not earned, forgiveness even when it is not asked, and kindness even when it is not returned. Let the way I carry myself today reflect whose I am, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence, not with self-righteousness, but with self-forgetfulness. You have already declared my worth, so I do not have to prove it. I can enter each space free from the need to impress or dominate. I can serve without needing recognition. I can love without needing it to be reciprocated. That is the freedom that comes from knowing you. And if I stumble, and I know, I will remind me quickly of grace, not as a license to continue in failure, but as an invitation to return to alignment. Your correction is never condemnation. It is restoration. It is the gentle hand that lifts, not the harsh word that crushes. Let me receive it joyfully. Let me be teachable. Let me hunger more for transformation than validation. God, help me honor you in how I handle small things, because the way I manage the unseen is where character is formed. Let my excellence come not from performance, but from integrity. Let me be faithful with the few so that I may be trusted with more. And even if more never comes, let me remain content in knowing I have already been given the greatest gift, your presence with me. Guard my heart from comparison, from looking sideways and measuring my pace by others. You have written a path for me is not meant to mimic theirs. Let me celebrate their success without questioning my own. Let me cheer them on without feeling left behind. You are not in a hurry with me. And if you are not rushed, neither should I be. Teach me to trust your timing, even when it feels slower than I expected. And Father, remind me that every moment holds eternal significance, even the unseen. Uncelebrated ones. Let me not wait for a platform to live faithfully. Let me not wait for a perfect moment to start loving well. This day is sacred. These moments matter. This life, right now, is a canvas for your glory. Let me paint it with patience, with purpose, with praise. So I continue into this day with a quiet boldness, not because I know what is ahead, because I know who holds what is ahead. I will walk through tasks with grace, navigate interruptions with calm, and face challenges with the quiet assurance that you are with me. Your peace is not a distant hope, it is a present reality. And as long as I stay rooted in that truth, no wind can uproot me. This is not a life free from hardship, but it is a life anchored in unshakable hope. Let me hold fast to that hope. Let me carry it like a lantern through every hallway, every meeting, every encounter. And if others are walking in shadows, let the light you have placed in me be a gentle invitation for them to step into something greater than their fear. Let my life become a living prayer offered in the way I speak, serve, listen, and live. And even as the hours ahead unfold with their unpredictability, let my soul remain unhurried. Let my eyes stay lifted. Let my steps stay aligned. And let my heart continue to whisper what it began in stillness this morning. I trust you. I need you. I walk with you. Father, as I rise with the same breath that whispered trust in the early stillness, I continue this day with a posture of surrender. The pace around me may shift, the volume of life may rise, but the sanctuary within remains. It is not built by silence alone, but sustained by your presence. The assurance that I walk with you steadies me more than any plan, more than any prediction I can map out for the day ahead. God, it is in this inner calm that I begin to hear you more clearly, not in thunder, not in flashes, but in the deep, unshakable quiet where fear loses its grip. You are not the author of confusion, and so when my thoughts feel tangled or my emotions pull in conflicting directions, I am learning to pause, to breathe, and to realign with you. Help me return to stillness without guilt, without resistance, knowing that coming back to you is not weakness, but wisdom. Lord, give me courage to be present where my feet are, not leaping into the future with worry, not clinging to the past with regret, but rooted fully in this moment. There is peace here, not because everything is perfect, because you are with me in it. Every breath is permission to begin again. Every step is a new invitation to walk by faith, not by sight. Every glance toward you restores what distraction tried to scatter. If the road before me leads to challenges I did not foresee, let them not shake my identity. Let my confidence come from who I am in you, not from what I can do. Even if I falter or get turned around, your hand is steady enough to redirect me. I do not need to fear detours when I know the one who marks every mile. Your grace turns even delays into destinations of growth. Help me to work today not with a clenched heart, but an open spirit. Let me bring excellence without perfectionism, care without control, discipline without anxiety. The motivation to strive fades quickly, but the desire to honor you endures. Let my output be infused with love, not just accomplishment. Let my energy be sustained by joy, not pressure. Let diligence be a response to purpose, not a reaction to fear. And Father, protect the garden of my thoughts. It is so easy to allow weeds of comparison, resentment, or insecurity to grow unnoticed. But you have given me authority over my mind. So I ask you to help me guard what I dwell on. Let gratitude be the gate that filters my thinking. Let truth be the soil that nourishes my perspective. Let kindness and compassion be the seeds I plant in every interaction, knowing that what I water with my attention will grow. In relationships, Lord, help me to see beyond behavior into the heart. It is easy to respond to frustration or offense, but you call me to look deeper. Teach me to listen well, speak slowly, and forgive quickly, not because it is always easy, but because it is always right. Let grace be the default, not the exception. When I want to prove a point, remind me to protect the relationship. When I want to retreat, remind me that presence is powerful. When I am tempted to carry offense, help me release it before it takes root. Give me discernment in the opportunities that come today. Not every open door is yours. Not every request requires a yes. Teach me the holy art of boundaries, not built from fear, but shaped by clarity and trust. Let me recognize where my energy is best invested. Help me steward my time with intention so that I do not run empty from pouring into things that you never asked me to fill. Let my no be just as obedient as my yes. And Lord, speak into my moments of doubt not with condemnation, but with clarity. When the voice of the enemy whispers that I am not enough, remind me of the cross where you declared I worth dying for. When shame tries to silence my prayers, remind me of the veil you tore. When I question my purpose, remind me of the breath in my lungs, evidence that you are not done with me yet. Let joy not be something I chase, but something I carry. Let it live quietly beneath my ribs, steady through circumstances, unshaken by outcomes. Joy that does not hinge on news or mood, but that flows from knowing I am held. Remind me that joy can look like simplicity, like laughter in mundane places, like peace when everything outside says I should panic. That is the joy you offer, and I choose it again today. Help me remember that rest is not a reward for finishing everything, but a rhythm you modeled from the beginning. I do not have to earn it. I just have to receive it. Let me find moments to pause throughout the day, not out of exhaustion, but as an act of trust, a sacred defiance against the world's worship of business. Let those pauses refresh me and realign me with what truly matters. God, as the hours unfold, help me release the idea that I have to do everything right to be loved by you. Your love is not earned by performance. It is received by faith. Let that truth sink deeper into the places where I still strive to be enough. You are not impressed by my perfection. You are moved by my dependence. Let me lean into you, not just when I am broken, but when I am blessed, so that success does not seduce me into self-reliance. And Lord, if discouragement tries to cloud my vision, lift my chin, help me see beyond what is temporary. Remind me that what you are doing in me is often hidden, often slow, but always sacred. Growth may not always feel like progress. Faith may not always look like movement. But you are the master gardener, tending the soil of my life with patience and purpose. Nothing is wasted in your hands. In every task today, whether grand or unseen, let me do it with integrity. Let my quiet efforts carry eternal weight. Let my unseen faithfulness be an offering you treasure. Let me find beauty not in recognition, but in obedience. Teach me to value the process more than the spotlight. the formation more than the applause. Let humility be my robe and service my anthem. Lord, let my words today be wrapped in wisdom. Let them build, not break, heal, not harm. Let silence come when needed, and speech flow with care when given. Help me not speak to impress, but to express truth in love. Let me remember that every word has weight, and may I steward that responsibility with grace. And Father, remind me again that you are not only in the sacred, but in the ordinary. You are in the sink of dishes, the cluttered to-do list, the waiting rooms, the errands, the pauses between meetings. You are not limited to temples and songs. You dwell in the midst of it all. Help me notice you in those spaces. Help me treat them with reverence, because you are there. So I walk forward again, not with haste, but with peace, not with striving, but with steady trust. I do not need every step planned, every outcome secured. I only need to stay close. You promise to lead me with your eye upon me, and that is enough. Let my life today echo that confidence, not just in what I say, but in how I love, how I serve, how I rest, how I wait. And if weariness whispers before the day is through, help me return not to performance, but to presence. Let my strength be renewed not by more doing, but by simply being with you. I do not need to hold it all together. I just need to stay held. You are faithful in the morning, and you will be faithful at night. Every hour in between is stitched together by your grace, and I choose to walk through it all with you. Father, even as I continue to walk in the rhythm of your peace, I know that each new day brings its own set of unknowns. And yet, you remain the unchanging anchor beneath the shifting tides. What I cannot predict does not unsettle you. What I do not understand does not escape your wisdom. So I surrender this morning once again into hands that are not only strong, but gentle hands that shape galaxies and yet cradle my fragile heart with unwavering compassion. Lord, I confess that sometimes my first instinct is to prepare, to plan, to brace myself against what might go wrong. But I am learning to shift my reflex from control to trust, to respond to uncertainty not with panic, but with peace rooted in you. I am learning that surrender is not resignation. It is agreement with divine order. It is the quiet strength to say, I do not have to know because I am known by you. I do not have to see everything ahead to take the next faithful step. God, thank you for being a safe place where I can admit my fears without shame, where I can bring the unspoken worries, the invisible pressures, the subtle anxieties that wear on me silently. You welcome every thought I try to suppress. You are not overwhelmed by what unsettles me. You invite it all, every uncertainty, every hesitation, every doubt, and you meet me there with patience, not judgment, with comfort, not criticism. You breathe clarity into my confusion, and suddenly I remember I am not alone in any of it. Help me resist the urge to rush past this moment in search of control. Let me stay long enough to be reminded that stillness is not wasted time, it is sacred space. In the quiet, I remember who you are. You are not hurried. You are not frantic. You are present. And if you are not anxious, I do not need to be either. Let me draw strength from your steady nature. Let your calm dismantle the lie that I need to hold everything together on my own. Lord, show me how to live today without grasping for guarantees. Let my peace not depend on perfect circumstances, but on steady communion with you. Let my trust grow deeper than logic, deeper than outcomes, deeper than emotion. Let it be rooted in history, our shared history, where time and time again, you have shown yourself faithful. When I recall what you have already brought me through, how can I not believe you will carry me again? Teach me to wait well, not with resignation, but with anticipation. Waiting is not wasted when it draws me closer to you. Help me release the timelines I have set in my own mind. Let patience rise up not as weakness, but as wisdom. Let me remember that slow is not stagnant. Delays do not mean denial. In the waiting, you refine. In the pause, you prepare. In the silence, you speak in ways I would miss if life was always moving too fast. God, when I feel tempted to compare my pace to someone else's, remind me that faithfulness is not a race. I do not need to measure my worth by their results. I only need to be obedient in the lane you have assigned to me. Let me celebrate others without questioning myself. Let me bless their victories without bitterness, because you are not short on blessings, and someone else's breakthrough does not mean I have been forgotten. Let contentment grow in me, not a passive kind that settles for less, but a fierce kind that finds joy in what is already here. Let me see the beauty in the ordinary, the divine in the daily. Let me stop chasing more when I am already surrounded by evidence of grace. The breath in my lungs, the roof over my head, the quiet love of people who care for me, all of these are miracles when I slow down enough to notice. Lord, help me be honest about my limits today. Let me not confuse being stretched with being drained. Teach me to say no with courage and yes with clarity. Let me value rest without guilt and boundaries without apology. Remind me that even you, the creator of all things, paused after creation. Let me follow your lead not out of exhaustion, but out of reverence for balance. Let every act of rest become an act of worship. And Father, when I face situations that test my character, give me the strength to choose integrity even when no one's watching. Let me be faithful in small things, knowing they shape who I am becoming. Let me be generous with my kindness, even when it goes unnoticed. Let me choose truth over convenience, compassion over pride, and gentleness over retaliation. Because these choices, though quiet, echo into eternity. If frustration arises, help me respond with grace. Let me not be ruled by reaction, but led by discernment. When words fail me, let silence speak peace. When injustice touches me, let love be my protest. Not a passive love, but a powerful one, the kind that does not retaliate, but redeems. The kind that transforms rather than destroys. The kind that points people to you not by shouting louder, but by standing firmer in your spirit. God, help me remember that peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in the presence of perspective. When I shift my view to eternity, today's worries begin to shrink. They do not disappear, but they lose their power to consume me. Help me lift my eyes higher than the tension. Let me zoom out to see that you are still reigning, still working, still writing a good story, even when the plot twists catch me off guard. Let hope rise again, not just for me, but through me. Let me become a vessel of hope to others who are weary. Let my presence bring calm into chaos. Let my encouragement feel like a safe shelter. Let my life be a reminder that peace is possible. Even here, even now, even in the middle of a world that often feels uncertain, fractured, or loud, because where you dwell, peace remains. Father, help me see the invisible victories, the moments I chose to forgive instead of hold a grudge, the decision to get up and try again even when I wanted to quit, the times I loved without condition, gave without recognition, served without applause. These are victories heaven celebrates, even if the world never notices. Let me be satisfied not by accolades, but by your quiet approval. That smile from you is worth more than any spotlight. And when the day grows long and fatigue begins to weigh on my shoulders, help me return to the well of your strength. Let me draw living water from your word. Let me find joy not in how much I accomplish, but in how deeply I remained connected to you. Let my evening not be marked by regret, but by gratitude. Because no matter how messy or beautiful the hours have been, I lived them with you, and that is enough. So once again, I choose trust over tension, presence over pressure, grace over grasping. I cannot control what today may bring, but I can choose how I show up in it with a heart fully yielded, a spirit anchored in truth, and a mind stayed on you. And in that posture, I know peace is not a far-off concept. It is my inheritance, my atmosphere, my strength. Because you, Lord, are near, and that changes everything. Lord, as the morning unfolds and I continue in the stillness of your presence, I feel your nearness in the spaces between each breath. What a mercy it is to begin again, with eyes that have opened and a heart that longs to walk in the light of your peace. The rhythm of yesterday still lingers in my memory, but today you are offering a new melody, one composed with patience, trust, and quiet strength. I receive it with open hands, knowing that no matter what lies ahead, you go before me, you walk beside me, and you dwell within me. The peace you give is not the world's version, fragile and fleeting, but something deeper, unshakable. Anchored in your truth, it does not demand the removal of chaos. It thrives in the center of it. And so, when distractions press in, when expectations pull at the corners of my soul, I return to this sacred stillness, to the calm that only you provide. Let this be the soil in which my day grows rich with grace, watered by surrender, lit by your unwavering presence. God, teach me how to dwell, not just exist. Teach me to settle my soul into the pace of grace, not driven by hurry or weighed by comparison, but grounded in who I am because of who you are. Let my worth be rooted not in what I do, but in whose I am. In moments when I am tempted to prove myself or earn approval, remind me that I am already fully seen and deeply loved. Your affirmation is enough. It silences the noise of performance and sets my heart free to simply be. Help me carry peace, not just receive it. Let it be woven into my responses, my gestures, my words, even my silence. When others are tense, let my calm be contagious. When others are bitter, let my softness speak louder than arguments. When the room feels heavy with stress or fear, let my presence gently shift the atmosphere, not because I have all the answers, but because I am connected to the one who is peace himself. Show me how to hold space for others without absorbing their chaos. Let me be empathetic without being overwhelmed. Let me listen without losing my center. Let me serve without striving. Teach me the delicate art of being present, fully engaged, yet still tethered to you. That no matter how many needs surround me, I never lose my grounding in your love, which never runs dry. Refill me before I pour out. Recenter me before I respond. Redirect me before I react. Father, I know that even in peace, pressure still exists. Deadlines come, decisions weigh heavy, relationships stretch and test the edges of grace. But none of these pressures are bigger than you. When I feel tension rise, remind me to pause and breathe in the truth. You are not distant. You are here. You are not indifferent. You are involved, and your spirit is available to counsel, comfort, and carry me through each moment. Let me not rush past what you are trying to teach me in the uncomfortable spaces, in every waiting room, every unresolved moment, every unspoken frustration. May I remember that you are working. The things I can fix are not evidence of failure. They are invitations to deeper trust. Not everything needs a solution right away. Some things just need to be surrendered and held gently in your timing. Give me discernment today, Lord, not just knowledge, but wisdom rooted in love. Let me see beneath the surface. Notice what others miss. Speak words that bring clarity and healing. Don't let me be swayed by impulse or ego. Instead, shape my reactions through the lens of compassion and truth. Give me the courage to say the hard thing when it is necessary, but always seasoned with grace. Let my presence be one of peace, not provocation, of healing, not harm. In moments when I feel unseen or misunderstood, remind me that you search hearts. You see what others can't see, and you are the one who rewards the hidden choices, the internal victories no one claps for. Let me not crave recognition, but rejoice in the quiet affirmation of your spirit. Help me value unseen obedience more than public applause, and faithfulness in the hidden places more than fleeting visibility. Lord, when I encounter resistance today, whether in people, circumstances, or my own mind, help me meet it not with force, but with faith. Let my trust in you be more resilient than the fear that rises. Let me remember that I do not have to overcome everything alone. I am not meant to carry burdens you never asked me to lift. Let me bring every weight to you quickly, before it becomes heavy. Teach me to live lightly and freely in your rhythm, where grace takes the lead. When I begin to lose focus, bring me back, not with shame, but with gentle redirection. You know how prone I am to distraction. My mind runs ahead, imagines worst-case scenarios, revisits old wounds. But in you, I am invited to return again and again, to breathe deeply and remember that I am safe, that I am not what I fear, that I am held by a love that is stronger than any lie I have believed. Let my work today be meaningful, not just productive. Let my hands create, restore, build, and nurture, not out of obligation, but out of joy. Let me find purpose in the tasks I might otherwise overlook. Let even the mundane be infused with divine presence. Folding laundry, answering messages, preparing food, offering a kind word, each moment an opportunity to live love out loud. Let me work not to earn value, but to express gratitude for the life you have given me. Let my relationships reflect your character. May I be slow to speak, quick to understand, and generous in forgiveness. Help me let go of past offenses, both the ones committed by others and those I have committed myself. Let no bitterness take root. Let love be the loudest voice in every conversation, even if silence must come first. Let reconciliation begin within me before I expect it from others. And in those moments when I feel overwhelmed by schedules, emotions, or expectations, let me remember that I do not need to fix everything at once. Let me take one step, one breath, one prayer at a time. Your grace is not given in bulk, but in moment-by-moment provision. It is fresh every morning, specific to today's needs. I do not need tomorrow's grace yet. I only need enough to walk through this hour with you. Lord, thank you for being the constant in my every season. When life accelerates, you remain unhurried. When I waver, you stay steady. When I fall, you lift me not with disappointment, but with delight, like a loving father who sees not failure, but progress. You are not keeping score. You are keeping watch, guiding each step, whispering truth over the lies that try to steal my joy. So, today, I choose to live at peace with the process. Not every question needs an immediate answer. Not every gap needs to be filled. Some things are sacred simply because they are in your hands. And that is enough. I release the pressure to perform, to please, to perfect. I step into the day not as one scrambling to keep up, but as one who is being led, covered, and cared for by the one who holds all things together. Let this be the rhythm of my soul as the day unfolds, unhurried, anchored, responsive, and rooted. Let the pressures of the world be met by the presence of your Spirit. And in that place, may peace rise not because circumstances shifted, but because I stayed close to the one who never does, God. In the quiet stillness of this morning, as the world is just beginning to stir, my heart turns again to the truths you have spoken and the promises you have made. I remember how you whispered peace in the midst of my storms, how your word became my lifeline when everything around me felt unstable. And just as yesterday's chapter of my soul leaned on your faithfulness, today I come carrying a deeper need not to be fearless, but to trust you even when I am afraid. Let this trust rise within me like the dawn, slowly yet surely pushing back the darkness of doubt. I do not ask for a life without hardship, but for the courage to believe that no matter what may come, you are already there ahead of me, working all things for my good. Lord, there are so many moments when fear tries to write the narrative of my day. It creeps in through unexpected phone calls, unanswered questions, silent delays, or the echoing whispers of past failures. And yet, you have said, "Do not fear, for I am with you." This is not a suggestion, it is a declaration that you, the creator of heaven and earth, have already positioned yourself beside me, shielding me, guiding me, and lifting me up when I falter. I hold on to this truth as tightly as I hold my breath when walking through the unknown. I hold on to your presence like an anchor in the deep. Even if fear roars like waves, I plant my heart upon the rock that cannot be moved. God, sometimes trusting you feels easy when the sun is shining and all is well, but in those hidden hours when tears fall unseen, when prayers seem unanswered, when fatigue takes over hope, that is when trust becomes more than a choice. It becomes surrender. So today, I surrender not just my fears, but also the control I so often grasp to try and avoid them. You are the one who sees the whole path ahead. And still, you invite me to walk one step at a time. I do not need to know what tomorrow holds. I only need to know you are already there. That truth alone reshapes how I breathe in this moment. Father, if I were to count every promise you have fulfilled in my life, I would run out of space before I run out of testimonies. You have been my provider when there was no provision. You have healed wounds so deep, even I thought they were beyond repair. You have redeemed moments I once buried in shame, turning them into powerful reminders of your grace. I see now that your promises were not just words to be read, they were lifelines sent to rescue me. Today, help me see every fear as another opportunity to watch you be faithful again. Let me not be intimidated by what stands in front of me, but instead be inspired by the one who walks beside me. Lord, give me the grace to speak promises louder than problems, to declare what you have said louder than what fear tries to whisper, when doubt tries to wrap itself around my heart like chains. Let your truth be the key that sets me free when I feel paralyzed by uncertainty. Let me find my movement in the direction of your peace. Let my soul rise on the wings of faith, not because everything around me is perfect, but because you are perfectly trustworthy. You do not lie, you do not change, and you do not abandon those who call upon you. I call on you this morning not from a place of strength, but from the honest place of needing you more than I need answers. Sometimes, God, I confess that I have placed my trust in things that fade, people, achievements, plans, appearances, but they all unravel. Only you remain. So draw my gaze upward when I feel overwhelmed. Lift my eyes above the waters. Help me to see that the winds and waves still obey you, that nothing escapes your sovereign reach. You hold my past with mercy, my present with strength, and my future with hope. Even if I tremble, your grip on me never loosens. That is where my comfort lies, not in my ability to be fearless, but in your ability to be faithful. Lord, for the fears that go unspoken, the ones I hide, even from myself, shine your light into those corners. For the worries I wake up with before the day even begins, Flood them with peace that surpasses understanding. Teach me to walk through today, not with anxious speculation, but with peaceful expectation. Let every breath I take be a silent reminder that you have already given me all I need to endure, to overcome, and to flourish under your care. Let this trust in you become so embedded in my soul that even when fear knocks, it finds no room to stay. Thank you for being the God who does not demand perfection, but invites honesty. Thank you for allowing me to bring not only praise, but also pain into your presence. You welcome it all, you transform it all, and you use it all to draw me closer. Let nothing steal that closeness, not fear, not shame, not the lies of the enemy. As I step forward into this day, let my trust in you be my boldest act of worship. Let my confidence in your promises echo louder than every threat. I am not walking into the unknown alone. I am walking with the God who holds all things in his hands. Even now, as I pause between words, I feel the calming rhythm of your spirit steadying mine. Not because all is fixed, but because I am fixed in you. Rooted, grounded, covered. And as long as you are here, fear will not have the final say. Let every thought I think and every word I speak be anchored in what you have said. Let your promises echo louder than the noise of the world. Let my life become a living declaration that your word is enough. You are enough, and I will trust you completely, continually, and without reservation. Father, as the stillness of the morning deepens and the first golden touches of sunlight press through the silence, my soul continues to reach for you. The thread of trust woven in the hours before now stretches gently into this moment. I do not want to lose that thread. I do not want to step into today distracted, burdened, or hurried. I want to dwell, Father, not just pass through. I want to remain in the quiet confidence of your promises, to linger in the warmth of your presence like the way sunlight lingers on water. Because even as I say, I trust you, my heart still longs for peace, not fleeting calm, but the abiding peace that only you can give. Lord, it is in the slowing down that I begin to notice the tension I often carry. I realize how often I brace myself for what might go wrong instead of resting in what has always gone right, your unchanging goodness. The more I try to control, the less I feel peace. But the more I surrender, the more your peace becomes real. You do not give peace the way the world gives it, temporary, conditional, and surface deep. You offer the kind of peace that reaches into chaos and says, "Be still." You speak into the whirlwind and anchor my soul, not by removing the storm, but by sitting with me in the middle of it. God, I sense you calling me to let go of the inner noise. You are not in the chaos, not in the pressure, not in the constant striving to prove my worth. You are in the still, quiet whisper that reminds me I am already loved. I do not have to earn peace. I only have to receive it. And to receive it, I must first release all that stands in the way, every anxious thought, every mental list, every false belief that says I am not enough unless I achieve, produce, or please others. You have shown me a better way. You invite me to sit, to breathe, to open my heart without pretense or performance. You are not rushed, so why should I be? Father, I choose this morning to make peace my pursuit, not the absence of conflict, but the fullness of your presence, because I have seen how even in seasons of pain, peace can bloom if I stay close to you. I remember the nights when sleep escaped me, and yet somehow your peace still found me. I recall the conversations that left me shattered, yet your comfort mended me with quiet strength. You were there not with grand gestures, but with steady nearness, and that nearness changed everything. That nearness is enough for today. Let my life today reflect this peace. Lord, let my words carry gentleness and my actions mirror patience. Let me not react out of pressure or fear, but respond with a heart grounded in you. When others are overwhelmed, let me be a calming presence. When tensions rise, let me be a reminder that peace is possible, not because of who I am, but because of who you are in me. The peace you have placed within me overflow into every environment I enter a room, a conversation, a decision. Make me a vessel of that peace, God, so the world sees you without me, even having to speak your name aloud. God, I admit that sometimes I confuse peace with comfort. But peace does not always mean easy. Sometimes peace is choosing not to retaliate. Sometimes it is sitting in silence when I want to argue. Sometimes it is trusting you with timing I do not understand. And that is the peace I am asking for today, the kind that stands firm even when things do not go as planned. The kind that holds me when the day takes a turn. The kind that sees beyond what my eyes can and believes you are still working even in the waiting. Teach me to live unshaken, not because of what I can control, but because of what I can surrender. Father, help me protect the peace you have given me. I know how quickly it can be stolen through scrolling, comparing, worrying, complaining. So I ask for discernment today. Help me guard my ears from noise that disrupts my spirit. Guard my eyes from distractions that stir discontent. Guard my mouth from words that break peace instead of build it. Let me be intentional with what I allow into the garden of my mind. And when the weeds of worry begin to grow, remind me that you are the gardener who knows how to prune, how to heal, how to nurture growth even in broken soil. Let peace be my rhythm today, God. Let it guide how I pace myself, how I treat others, how I speak to myself. I do not need to strive. I do not need to prove. I only need to remain close to the source. And you are that source, the well that never runs dry, the light that never dims, the Father who never leaves. So I step into this day with open hands, not grasping for control, but receiving the gift of calm. I want to carry what was never mine to hold. I want to rehearse the same anxieties. I choose to release. I choose to rest. God, your word says you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you. So help me fix my thoughts today, not on outcomes, not on fears, but on you. When I start to spiral into what-ifs, pull me back with your truth. When my soul begins to race, slow me down with your promises. When my body tightens with tension, breathe your presence into my lungs. Let peace not just be a feeling, but a practice, a habit I return to again and again. Let it be the melody beneath the noise of life, A quiet song only the heart can hear but never forget. And if today brings trials, I will not panic. If disappointments come, I will not despair. Because you are my portion and my peace, not my success, not my plans, not even the approval of others. You alone are the anchor, and with you I cannot be moved. You are my safe place, my secret place, my shelter in the storm. When the world shakes, I will not. When others falter, I will remain rooted. When fear whispers, I will answer with your truth. That is the peace you offer, a peace no one can steal. A peace that is not circumstantial but eternal. Father, thank you for being patient with me as I learn to walk in peace. I know I do not always get it right. I know I still run ahead, still wrestle with control, still entertain worry longer than I should. But each morning, you meet me again. You do not turn away. You do not shame me. You simply extend your hand and say, "Walk with me." And as long as I walk with you, peace is not something I have to chase, it is something that follows me. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me, and peace will dwell where you dwell. So dwell with me today. Stay close. Be my first thought when I rise and my last when I lay down. Be the calm in my breath, the stillness in my steps, the light in my gaze. And let this day, no matter how ordinary or unexpected, be marked by your peace. Let it be the undercurrent of every conversation, every task, every thought. I do not need to shout peace into the world. I only need to carry it, and you will do the rest. You always have. You always will. Father, as the gentle hush of morning continues to hold me, I find myself leaning further into the sanctuary of your peace. It is no longer just a request, but a place I now recognize. A shelter I return to not because I have earned it or mastered stillness, but because you so freely offer it. And as I hold onto the calm you have placed in my heart, I realize that peace is not just something to feel, it is something to live. It is a decision I make with every breath, every response, every thought I allow to linger. The world will always offer noise, but you keep offering rest, and I want to choose rest over rushing. I want to choose your stillness over my striving. Lord, in a world that measures worth by hustle and urgency, teach me how to move slowly and with intention, not lazily, not fearfully, but with sacred purpose. Show me how to pause in moments when everything inside me screams to react. Show me how to trust that not every problem needs an immediate solution, that not every silence must be filled, that not every door must be knocked down. Let me understand that some of the greatest breakthroughs happen not in motion, but in waiting. Let my soul breathe in the truth that resting in you is not weakness, it is wisdom, and I need that wisdom today more than ever. God, you see the temptation I face every day to run ahead, to carry too much, to think it is all on me. But you are gently reminding me that I am not the answer to everything. I am not the savior of anyone. I am not responsible for outcomes beyond my obedience. You are the author. You are the finisher. And you are not asking me to fix the world today. You are just asking me to follow you, to trust your pace, to walk in step with you, not race ahead in fear or lag behind in doubt. When I look around and feel like I am behind, remind me that you do not measure me by my speed, but by my faithfulness. So today, Father, I want to slow down not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. I want to slow down enough to hear what you are really saying, to notice the beauty you have hidden in the ordinary, to be present, truly present, in the places you have placed me. Help me not to miss the miracles because I am too distracted by momentum. Help me not to confuse movement with meaning. Let the pace of my life reflect the depth of my peace. And let that peace be rooted not in what I have accomplished, but in who I know you to be unchanging, unwavering, unshaken. When the pressures mount and deadlines tighten, help me see time as a gift, not a taskmaster. Remind me that each hour is holy when I offer it to you, whether I spend it in labor or in laughter, in conversation or in solitude. It becomes sacred when surrendered. Let me not live in fear of wasting time, but instead live in the assurance that time with you is never wasted. Let me no longer rush through mornings or drag through afternoons. Let me move through this day as if walking through a garden, aware of each step, grateful for each moment, awake to your presence in all of it. Lord, I confess that stillness sometimes feels uncomfortable. When I am quiet, the noise inside gets louder, doubts creep in, memories stir, insecurities rise. But maybe that is the point. Maybe you bring me into silence so that I can face what I have been avoiding, not to shame me, but to heal me, not to punish, but to restore. You are not afraid of my mess. You do not flinch at the wounds I try to hide. So in the stillness, let my defenses fall. Let my distractions fade. Let my heart be bare before you, not for judgment but for mending, because I can carry peace and pretense at the same time. God, if stillness is a doorway to deeper trust, then help me walk through it today. Help me trust that the things I release will not fall apart without my hands constantly gripping them. Help me trust that slowing down does not mean falling behind, but falling into step with you. Let today be a quiet rebellion against the hurry that has ruled me for too long. Let it be a day marked by mindful presence instead of anxious striving. Let me do less, but love more. Speak less, but listen better. Plan less, but pray deeper. And when challenges arise, as I know they will do not, let me default to panic. Let stillness be my first response, not my last resort. Teach me how to breathe before I speak, to pause before I act, to pray before I decide. Let the space between stimulus and response be filled with your voice. And if others do not understand my slower pace, let me not be swayed by their urgency. I answer to you alone. You are my compass, my rhythm, my heartbeat. The world may rush, but I will rest. The world may clamor, but I will listen. The world may demand, but I will yield to the gentle leading of your Spirit. Father, I thank you that you are never impatient with me. You never rush me to maturity. You never demand that I heal faster, grow quicker, or get it all together on someone else's timeline. You are patient and kind, tender with my process, and you always know what I need before I ask. Sometimes that need is space to fall apart. Sometimes it is a moment of laughter. Sometimes it is a sunrise I did not expect. Sometimes it is a quiet whisper reminding me that I am not alone. And always, it is more of you. So I open my hands to you again this morning, not clenched in fear or striving, but open in trust and release. I let go of unrealistic expectations. I let go of the invisible stopwatch I keep running in my mind. I let go of the fear that tells me I am too late, too slow, too far behind. I am exactly where you want me to be because you are here with me. And in your presence, nothing is wasted, nothing is rushed, nothing is forgotten. Every moment matters, every breath belongs. Let this be a day of holy stillness. God, let it echo with the sound of deep breaths and sacred pauses. Let it be colored with gentle awareness and soft strength. Let it carry the fragrance of peace wherever I go, whether I am alone or among others. Let my spirit remain anchored. Let my tone be gentle, my posture be humble, my words be few but meaningful. Let my life speak of you without a single sermon, just a quiet, steady rhythm of peace that draws others in. Let my very presence remind them that rest is possible, that stillness is strength, that there is a better way. And as this morning stretches forward, as the sun rises higher and the responsibilities begin to call, I choose again to move not in my own energy, but in yours. I choose not to conquer the day, but to walk through it. I choose not to react to every urgency, but to respond to your voice. I will not be pulled in every direction. I will be led. I will not be rushed. I will be rooted. I will not chase peace. I will carry it. Because you are with me, you are for me, you are in me, and in you. Stillness is not just a practice, it is a posture, a promise, and a presence I will return to again and again. Lord, you who calmed the storm with a word and stilled the sea with a breath, I come again this morning leaning into that same power. As I reflect on the quiet you have planted within me, I feel it stretch and settle deeper, drawing me into an awareness not of absence, but of sacred presence. The stillness I carry today is not a void, but a vessel of space where you dwell and whisper truth into my weary places. I continue to walk softly through the morning with the understanding that peace is not something I chase, but someone I welcome. You. Always you. As I wake and my feet find the earth again, I ask not for escape from responsibility or retreat from the noise of this life, but rather for the holy discipline to remain inwardly anchored while outwardly active. Teach me how to be present to my life without being overcome by it. Let the roar of chaos around me never drown out the gentle tone of your love that speaks to me in stillness. Help me to return again and again to the quiet within me that you guard with your presence. God, the world around me demands haste, loudness, and business, but you call me to a different rhythm, a rhythm of peace, patience, and intentional rest when the pressure to perform rises. Let me remember that your grace is sufficient, and your power is made perfect in my weakness. I do not need to strive to prove myself. I need to abide in you. Help me trust that simply being with you is enough, that my worth is not defined by my output, but by your love. When uncertainty threatens to unsettle me, Remind me that you are my unshakable foundation. Let my heart not be tossed by waves of worry, but anchored deeply in your promises. You are my refuge in times of trouble, a shelter from the storm. Though the earth may shake and the mountains fall, my confidence rests in you alone. Teach me to live from that place of security, even when the path is unclear and the future unknown. Father, help me to surrender the need for control, knowing that your plans are higher and your timing perfect. I release the anxiety that comes from trying to hold everything together and lay it at your feet. You are the one who orchestrates all things, who works all things together for good for those who love you. Let me rest in that truth and walk forward with a light step and a peaceful mind. Teach me, Lord, to carry my burdens with grace, to serve without resentment, and to love without condition. Let my actions today reflect the heart of Christ, patient, kind, humble, and selfless. When conflicts arise, let me respond with compassion, not anger. When difficulties come, let me face them with courage, not fear. Let me be a beacon of your peace in every interaction, a reflection of your steadfast love in a restless world. God, I ask for discernment to know when to act and when to wait. Not every situation requires my intervention, and not every silence means neglect. Help me to hear your voice clearly and to obey promptly. Let my choices be guided by your wisdom, rooted in faith and blossoming in hope. When I feel tempted to rush or to delay, remind me that your timing is perfect and your ways are higher. As the day progresses, help me guard my heart against discouragement. Let me see setbacks as setups for your greater work. Let me embrace challenges as opportunities to grow in faith and character. Remind me that you never waste pain or struggle, but use them to shape me into the person you created me to be. In every trial, let me find strength in you and joy in your presence. Lord, fill me with your peace that surpasses understanding. Let it guard my heart and mind from the turmoil of the world when anxiety threatens to overwhelm. Let your peace be my shield when doubts arise. Let your truth be my anchor when loneliness creeps in. Let your presence be my comfort. You are my constant, my hope, my rest. Thank you, Father, that you meet me where I am in the calm and the chaos, the certainty and the confusion, the joy and the sorrow. You never leave me to face the day alone. Your Spirit guides me, strengthens me, and sustains me. And because of your faithfulness, I can walk into this day with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you are working all things for my good and your glory. So I commit this day to you. I surrender my plans, my fears, and my desires into your loving hands. Let your will be done in me and through me. Let your peace reign in my heart and flow through my life. And may every moment be an opportunity to experience more of your grace, to reflect more of your love, and to trust more deeply in your unchanging goodness. I walk forward, Father, not by sight, but by faith, not by my strength, but by yours, not by my understanding, but by your wisdom. And in this journey, I find peace, a peace that is real, lasting, and life-giving, a peace that comes only from you. Father, as I reflect on the stillness and peace you have graciously given me throughout this day, I recognize that peace is not merely a feeling to be experienced in moments of solitude, but a way of living that you call me to embody at all times. The journey so far has taught me that true peace is a fruit that grows through faithfulness and trust, through choosing you in the small decisions and the big ones alike. As I stand on the brink of what is yet to come, I ask you to empower me to live out that peace in every moment, in every interaction, and in every circumstance. Lord, help me to remember that peace begins within me but must extend beyond me. It is not enough to carry calm in my heart while the world around me remains unsettled. Let your peace become visible in my demeanor, audible in my words, and tangible in my actions. When tensions arise, whether in conversations, relationships, or unexpected challenges, let me be a source of calm, a bearer of your love. Let me respond with gentleness, patience, and understanding, reflecting the peace you have poured into me. God, you know the struggles I face in controlling my reactions, in speaking with kindness when I feel hurt, and in choosing forgiveness over bitterness. Yet, you call me higher to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Teach me how to embody these virtues today, when frustration threatens to steal my peace. Help me take a step back and invite your presence to restore me. Let me be mindful that the peace I carry is a gift meant to be shared, not hoarded. Help me sow seeds of peace wherever I go, even when the soil seems rocky or resistant. Father, I acknowledge that this is not always easy. The world pushes urgency, demands speed, and thrives on conflict. Yet, you offer a different way, a way of stillness, grace, and reconciliation. Let me walk in this way boldly. Let me choose peace in the face of provocation. Let me seek harmony where others seek division. Let me build bridges where walls are being raised. This is the testimony of your kingdom made visible through a heart yielded to you. Lord, in my moments of weakness, remind me of your strength. When I am tempted to give in to anxiety or despair, lift my gaze to you. Your promises are sure, and your love never fails. Let my hope not rest in my ability to maintain peace, but in your power to sustain me when I stumble. Help me rise quickly and remember that your grace is sufficient. Teach me to extend that same grace to myself and to others. Help me live today with intentionality. Let peace be the foundation upon which I build every thought and action. May it influence how I manage my time, how I handle stress, and how I prioritize my commitments. Let it guide my interactions with family, friends, colleagues, and strangers alike. Let the calm that dwells within me be a beacon that draws others to you. A reminder that peace is possible because you are present. God, I pray for the strength to persevere in this pursuit of peace. There will be days when circumstances challenge it, when emotions threaten it, and when others do not recognize or appreciate it. But let me not grow weary or discouraged. Instead, let me be renewed daily by your Spirit, finding fresh resolve to live as a peacemaker. Help me to trust that every act of peace, no matter how small, contributes to the unfolding of your kingdom here on earth. Father, may my life be a living prayer of peace spoken through my words, shown through my actions, and felt through the love I share. Let me be an instrument of your peace, carrying it into places of conflict, into hearts burdened by fear, and into moments clouded by doubt. Let your peace break chains, heal wounds, and bring restoration. Use me as a vessel to extend your grace to a world desperately in need of it. As I continue in this day, help me to remember that peace is a journey, not a destination. It requires daily choices to surrender control, to forgive, to trust, and to love. Strengthen me in this journey. Keep my heart soft and my spirit open. Let me continually return to the source of true peace, you, my God, my refuge, my salvation. And so, Father, I step forward with a heart anchored in your love and a spirit filled with your peace. I will not be shaken by the chaos that surrounds me, because I know that you hold me steady. I will walk with confidence, not in my own strength, but in the power of your Spirit. May every moment of this day reflect the peace that you have so graciously given me, shining as a testimony to your goodness and faithfulness. Let this peace be more than a quiet thought. Let it be the song of my life, the thread woven through all I say and do. Let it bring comfort to the weary, hope to the hopeless, and light to those walking in darkness. And through it all, may your name be glorified and your kingdom advanced. Father, as this moment of prayer draws near its gentle pause, I come once more into your presence with a heart full of gratitude and a spirit open to your unending grace. From the first breath of this day to now, you have been my guide, my strength, and my refuge. You have carried me through doubts and fears, through moments of stillness and movement, teaching me to trust, to wait, and to walk in peace even when the path was unclear. And now, as I stand at the edge of this day's beginning, I feel your quiet invitation to rest not as a final ending, but as a sacred pause filled with hope and possibility. God, you have been the gentle dawn breaking through my darkest nights, the soft breeze calming my restless soul, the flowing stream renewing my weary heart. In you, I find a steady light that never fades, a tender presence that never leaves. Though I do not know what the hours ahead may hold, I hold on to the certainty of your faithfulness. You have promised to never forsake me, and that promise is the anchor of my hope. It draws me forward with confidence, not because I am strong, but because you are strong. It carries me beyond what I can see to what you are preparing, beyond what I understand to what you are revealing in time. As I breathe in the stillness you offer, I am reminded that faith is not a destination, but a journey, a daily choosing to trust, to hope, and to rest in you. This prayer is not an ending, but a beginning, a starting point for a renewed commitment to live in your peace, to walk in your love, and to shine with the light you have placed within me. I carry with me the lessons learned in every quiet moment, every struggle faced, every victory celebrated. I carry the hope that no matter how many times I falter, your grace is always enough to restore and renew. Thank you, Father, for walking with me through this sacred journey of prayer. Thank you for meeting me in my doubts and fears, for whispering truth when lies surrounded me, for breathing peace when chaos threatened to overwhelm. I am humbled by your patience, encouraged by your faithfulness, and filled with a longing to keep growing deeper in this walk of faith. May this time of prayer continue to echo in my heart, shaping my days and guiding my steps long after these words have been spoken. To you who have joined me on this journey, thank you for staying to the end. Your willingness to open your heart, to seek peace, and to embrace trust is a testament to the courage God is cultivating within you. I invite you now to share your thoughts, your reflections, and your own prayers below. Let us encourage one another, strengthen each other's faith, and build a community rooted in hope and love. Remember, this path is not walked alone. Keep pressing forward, keep leaning into God's promises, and continue to nurture the peace He so freely gives. If this prayer has touched you, please consider subscribing to this channel, sharing this video with others who might need encouragement, and coming back each day to nurture your spirit with hope and trust. Together, we can journey through every season, lifted by the same grace, sustained by the same love. May the gentle light of dawn rise within you, filling every corner of your soul with warmth and clarity. May the soft breeze of God's Spirit refresh your weary mind and bring calm to every restless thought. And may the living water of His presence flow endlessly through your life, cleansing, renewing, and empowering you to walk boldly in faith. Let this not be an ending, but a continuous unfolding, a story still being written by the one who holds time and eternity in His hands. With every new day, may you find fresh strength, renewed hope, and an ever-deepening peace that surpasses all understanding. Thank you for journeying together in this sacred time of prayer. May God's light guide you, His peace surround you, and His love carry you into all the days ahead.